Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1293. This was a staircase formed from the will of the myriad devil sovereign, a place of faith for countless devil islands. In his heart he was filled with intense anticipation, wanting to ascend this devil mountain and see for himself what sort of place this sacred ground was exactly. The young immortal cultivator kowtowed to the immortal gate with incomparable respect before finally entering. At the foot of the devil mountain, countless figures were gathered, staring up at the devil mountain. Naturally, the myriad devil sovereign is a supreme existence. His radiance envelopes the entire myriad devil islands, preventing them from being invaded by the immortal realms. A devil king at the side calmly spoke. The stairway of the devil mountain was incomparably heavy, as though there was a formless pressure pressing down on him. However, this didn't obstruct him as he continued on. Step by step, he resolutely continued upwards, and with every step he took, he felt as though he had entered an independent world. When he inclined his head, he could see the imposingness of the devil mountain towering in the air, exuding an air of divinity. Among these figures there were devil foundation experts, devil kings, and even devil emperors. However, when Qin Wentian sat on the rock, the scene before his eyes instantly changed. The devil steps vanished and he suddenly saw two scenes. These two scenes were incomparably clear, as though they were imprinted into his mind, appearing right in front of him. If one wished to ascend the devil mountain, one must have an incomparably resolute will. Qin Wentian stood in the air, feeling somewhat lost. Did he have to choose? How should he choose? This is the path of changing fate. How can there be no price to pay? If you want to obtain greater benefits, you have to bear greater consequences. Isn't this a must? The Devil King stared at Nanfeng Ruoxuan. Nanfeng Ruoxuan was speechless. There were even experts around her who knelt and kowtowed to the Devil Mountain, prostrating themselves in worship. The devil-cultivating young man was extremely tenacious. His eyes were filled with stubbornness, saying that he wanted to become the future lord of the Devil Mountain. His talent was outstanding and he also joined the Devil sect. The young devil cultivator also grew to become a hegemon of the Devil sect. He challenged the Devil sect leader and shocked the world with a single battle, defeating him fair and square, replacing him. The Devil sect leader was defeated and a new one appeared, causing everyone to fear him. On the left was an immortal, and on the right was a demon. Time flowed by bit, incomparably dull. This time Qin Wentian walked for several months. He walked to the point where he wanted to stop, to the point where he wanted to give up. Every time he inclined his head and stared at the Devil Mountain in the air, he would feel despair. The Devil Mountain was still as majestic as ever, as though it had never existed before. Two paths appeared in front of Qin Wentian. One was the celestial path, the other was the demonic path. Qin Wentian had to choose. After a long time he was still there. The two paths were still before him, and he had to choose. There was no third path. All these scenes were so clear to Qin Wentian. Yet he couldn't help but feel complicated in his heart. The island of 10,000 devils was a majestic place with as many experts as the clouds, until they arrived at the foot of the Devil Mountain. As he walked, a powerful aura gushed over. Qin Wentian felt as though he had entered an illusory world once again. Although he was still walking, it was like he could see two young cultivators ascending the immortal and devil gates step by step. Qin Wentian continued upwards. He saw an empty space and there was a huge rock beside it. There was also a devil path carved on it. Lifting his foot, Qin Wentian walked over and sat down on the rock. Nanfeng Ruoxuan, Duan Qianshan and the others all stepped forward. The Devil King stood there unmoving. Qin Wentian then spoke. If Qin Wentian survives after ascending the Devil Mountain, I will definitely accomplish what I promised the Devil Emperor. As the sound of her voice faded, numerous gazes turned to her. Many of them flickered with cold devilish intent as a tyrannical aura swept over Nanfeng Ruoxuan. Finally, a day has arrived. This immortal cultivator who was revered by everyone killed his master when he was cultivating in a secret location, stealing his treasures and plundering his cultivation art. After that, he returned to the immortal sect and used all the methods at his disposal to become the new master of the immortal sect. He was preparing to rest for a period of time to recover his devil energy before continuing onwards. The Devil Mountain had an endless stairway that led to the Devil Mountain in the air. It was rumored that this stairway was created by the myriad devil's sovereign and was formed from his will. If one wanted to ascend the Devil Mountain, they had to pass through the stairway first. This was also known as the test of the myriad devil's sovereign. The former was an immortal, the latter was a devil. The former was revered by the masses while the latter was feared by the myriad of devils. The myriad devil's sovereign is truly an extraordinary existence, Qin Wentian mumbled. How vast was the myriad devil island? There were countless islands and countless devil cultivators. Some of them were bloodthirsty, some were crazy, but it was rumored that even those who were crazy and bloodthirsty would reveal expressions of sincerity when they came to this place of faith. Such faith was simply too terrifying. This wasn't rule, it was trust. The immortal sect leader sighed in sorrow and continued to nurture other disciples. Generation after generation, the second generation of disciples went on expeditions, tempering themselves, plundering and plundering. The sect grew stronger and stronger as more and more disciples died. The immortal sect leader grew stronger and stronger as his prestige grew higher and higher. Countless people prostrated themselves in worship. This time around, Qin Wentian discovered that the pressure was even stronger. Every step he took required a great deal of energy. His speed started to slow down, and when he inclined his head, the Devil Mountain was still the same as before. It was like this for all eternity, there was no end to it. The two youths grew stronger and stronger bit by bit. The young immortal cultivator became more and more important in the immortal sect, becoming the leader of the younger generation. His radiance was dazzling, and the young devil cultivator also became the leader of the younger generation. They were revered by the army, and gradually, they climbed to the peak. Qin Wentian stared at the path ahead. There were countless devil cultivators here, and there would always be people walking towards the Devil Mountain, ascending the stairway. Only a small portion of them would be able to reach the peak. After walking on this path, everything returned to the starting point. Qin Wentian was still sitting on that gigantic rock, and there was a stairway before him. Who was the immortal and who was the devil? Qin Wentian didn't want to choose. He didn't want to walk on either of the two paths. Qin Wentian walked into the devil fog and arrived at the stairway leading to the Devil Mountain. After that, he lifted his foot and walked up. Qin Wentian and the devil kings beside him all had expressions of respect on their faces as they bowed in the direction of the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath and stepped out. He chose the path to immortality. Closing his eyes, Qin Wentian quietly cultivated, recovering his strength. After a long time, he opened his eyes and lifted his foot again, continuing forward. The cultivation arts of devil cultivators are tyrannical and violent. One might even lose their rationality in their cultivation, causing them to be powerful yet cold. However, all of this is inevitable. If you don't have the slightest bit of respect, I advise you not to attempt to ascend the Devil Mountain. It's unknown how many experts have died on this path. A devil king beside her spoke, causing Nanfeng Ruoxuan to frown. There's no such terrifying place of faith in the immortal realms. If we're talking about conquering, it should be the myriad devil islands invading the immortal realms. Nanfeng Ruoxuan coldly spoke. The Namhuang clan had once waged war against the myriad devil islands. This caused the members of the Namhuang clan to view devil cultivators with even more hatred. The illusory Devil Mountain quietly stood there, attracting the worship of everyone. Qin Wentian discovered that countless devil cultivators were here. Maybe they were arrogant and tyrannical outside, but when they stared at the Devil Mountain, there was only reverence in their eyes. This place was the holy ground of the myriad devil islands, a place of faith for countless devil cultivators. The other scene was that of a devil sect. There was a devil expert who didn't accept disciples but recruited subordinates instead, making them fight for him. The strong would rise, the weak would retreat. The strong would survive, the weak would die. Those with battle merits would be rewarded. There were some who made mistakes and were killed by the devil sect leader in front of everyone, devouring their cultivation base, shocking everyone. Gradually, his subordinates grew incomparably fearful of him. He became a devil king of a generation, and also nurtured a terrifying devil army. Since this is a place of faith for the myriad devil islands, why are you guys still so pious despite so many people dying on the way here? Nanfeng Ruoxuan wasn't convinced. Everyone was in awe of his strength and fear of his tyranny. These disciples tempered themselves in the outside world. Some became stronger, some died midway, but the immortal sect grew stronger and stronger. The sect leader then started to nurture the next batch of disciples. The talent of the young immortal cultivator was outstanding. He was highly regarded by his elders and was doted on and protected. His own cultivation speed was also extremely fast. The young devil cultivator's talent was also outstanding. He risked his life for the sake of the devil sect and achieved great merits. What was the difference between immortals and devils? The disciples of the previous generation were still fighting, tempering themselves, disregarding everything, fighting for the sect until the last disciple fell. After many steps, when he turned his head back again, he could no longer see the ground below, nor could he see the distance. He also couldn't see the people beside him. Only the towering devil mountain remained above his head. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Devil cultivators were cold-blooded and tyrannical. Their cultivation arts were violent and they would kill at the slightest disagreement. However, they actually said that the myriad devil islands wouldn't be invaded by the immortal realms. And the devil king behind him nodded lightly, sending Qin Wentian off with his gaze. In terms of intrinsic quality, what was the difference? Since they were already at the foot of the devil mountain, how could they miss out on such an opportunity? She was a peak-level immortal foundation character of the Namhuang clan. Although the devil mountain was a place of faith for the myriad devil islands, how could she not be able to ascend it? Qin Wentian continued up the mountain step by step. The devil mountain was still there, with no end in sight. Gradually, he had to circulate his immortal energy before he could resist the pressure and continue forward. This pressure was simply too terrifying. What would happen if I chose the devil path? Qin Wentian mused. The scene he experienced earlier was a huge impact to him. Although there was no difference between immortals and devils, he came from the immortal realms after all. He yearned to be an immortal and pursue his heart. Ultimately, he still chose the immortal path. However, Qin Wentian didn't have the time to savor it in detail. He followed the group of devil kings, ascending the devil mountain. Who was an immortal? Who was a devil? Let's go. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath and continued forward. Shut up. A devil king beside him berated. Nanfeng Ruoxuan's eyes flashed with reluctance. However, this place was the sacred ground of the myriad devil islands. She wouldn't say anything. One of the scenes was a majestic immortal palace that resembled an immortal sect. The master of the sect guided his disciples, guiding them in their cultivation, nurturing them to become exceptionally powerful. As time flowed by, the disciples gradually grew stronger and stronger. The master ordered them to temper themselves, to go on expeditions, to plunder cultivation resources, to plunder treasures to temper them. Chapter 1294. Qin Wentian's heart trembled. From the first scene to the second scene, each scene impacted his heart. That young man from the immortal sect, that genius from the devil sect. Who was the immortal and who was the devil? He didn't know that Qin Wentian was at a loss. While he was at a loss, another path appeared before him. The immortal path and the devil path, one connecting to the immortal path, the other connecting to the devil path. The struggle in his heart was even more intense compared to the first time. However, at this moment, Qin Wentian thought of Qing'er and Qingjing. They were all immortals and they were all in the immortal realms. Also, many of his friends and family were all immortals. He grew up in an immortal world since young and stepped on the path of immortality. This time around, he still followed his heart and walked on the path of immortality. An incomparably heavy pressure suddenly bore down on him, causing him to collapse. His body fell onto the ground and rolled down the stairs. However, he soon stabilized himself and got up with great difficulty. He was still on the stairway. The devil mountain was still as tall as ever, towering in the sky, eternally so. Did I return again? If I choose the devil path, would I arrive at the devil mountain directly? Qin Wentian inclined his head and had a bitter smile on his face. Most probably things wouldn't be so simple. However, he still followed his heart and continued forward. The myriad devil sovereign was the faith of the myriad devil islands, a supreme existence. It was rumored that this stairway was formed from the will of the myriad devil sovereign. In that case, everything would be predestined. Qin Wentian wasn't the only one who ascended the stairway. There were even more devil cultivators. Those devil cultivators wouldn't have the same scene as him, right? Evidently, the test of the Devil Mountain was different for each individual. From the moment he stepped on the stairway, he was already transparent to the will of the myriad devil sovereign. He was an immortal, not a devil. Qin Wentian continued walking, as though there would never be an end, never to rest. His spirit and energy were exhausted, but he still resolutely continued on. He had already stepped onto the path of the Devil Mountain. He could only advance, there was no room for retreat. He didn't know how long he had walked. In the end, he didn't even have a trace of strength. He could only rely on his strong willpower to walk forward. In fact, even his consciousness gradually turned blurry. It felt like he wasn't ascending the Devil Mountain but was in a dream of cultivation. In his dream, he continued to bitterly cultivate, growing stronger and stronger. The immortal realms kept changing, the myriad devil islands were also changing. However, everything was fine. Immortal cultivators cultivated immortal cultivation. Devil cultivators cultivated devil cultivation. Until one day, the devil cultivators from the myriad devil islands invaded the immortal realms and started a brutal massacre on a certain major power. Qin Wentian personally witnessed the annihilation of an entire sect. The devil cultivators were tyrannical and cruel. They killed in a frenzy regardless of who they were. A major power with countless people was completely annihilated. Qin Wentian was incomparably enraged. He wanted nothing more than to slaughter all the devil cultivators, leaving none alive. That group of devil cultivators were unbridled and tyrannical. They would kill anyone who dared to obstruct them, wreaking havoc on the myriad devil islands. Qin Wentian wanted nothing more than to use his own strength to eradicate the entire myriad devil islands. Finally, the slaughter by the devil cultivators incited the anger of the immortal realms. The various peak powers of the immortal realms gathered together and started to launch an attack on the myriad devil islands. They invaded the interior of the myriad devil islands and a huge battle erupted. This was an incomparably cruel battle. The myriad devil islands were forced to retreat unceasingly, all the way to the Devil Mountain. An incomparably majestic war between immortals and devils ended with the immortal realms emerging victorious. The flames of war engulfed every corner of the myriad devil islands. Qin Wentian's will seemed to have transformed into a heaven and earth, able to see every corner. He saw the people of the immortal realms starting to seize the spoils of war. They ran rampant on the various devil islands, killing the rulers of the devil islands or enslaving them. They plundered all the resources on the devil islands and slaughtered the devil cultivators of the myriad devil islands. They were the incarnations of justice and wanted to completely annihilate the devil cultivators of the myriad devil islands. In this scene, Qin Wentian saw the ordinary low-level Wuxiu being easily killed. He saw an ordinary family that was originally living peacefully, but they were suddenly swept into this storm of justice and were destroyed. He saw too many cruel scenes. He even saw his friends, the Blackstone Devil King and the third princess Yen Yuru. The Blackstone Devil King resisted and was killed in a domineering manner. Yen Yurua survived because of her beauty, but she was taken away by those incarnations of justice. Qin Wentian's countenance turned pale. His heart was pounding violently. He wanted this storm to stop. When he saw the devil cultivators slaughtering the people of the immortal realms, he wanted nothing more than to kill them all. That was because they shared a common hatred for a common enemy. However, when he saw the slaughter, he started to doubt himself. When he saw the Blackstone Devil King and Yen Yurua, the impact in his heart reached the peak because they were his friends. Only when such things happened to him would he feel the most intense impact. Those ordinary devil cultivators, those innocent devil cultivators who died tragically, did they deserve to die? These immortal Wuxiu who invaded the myriad devil islands, what was the difference between them and the devil cultivators who massacred the immortal realms back then? This scene continued. The myriad devil islands were on the path of destruction. The lives of the people were truly plunged into misery and suffering. He saw the earth being dyed red with blood. He saw the immortal Wuxiu starting to occupy the myriad devil islands and divide them among themselves. After that, those victors who shared a common hatred for a common enemy started an internal war, causing a new war to erupt. But this time around there were no more devil cultivators. There were only internal wars between the immortal realms and Wu Xiao. More and more powers were destroyed while more rose up. This was eternal. When the wheels of history rolled by, what was left behind was only piles of corpses. Qin Wentian was at a loss. He sighed, he doubted immortals, he doubted devils, and he doubted himself. However, at this moment, he discovered that everything was just a dream. Time seemed to have returned to the past, to the beginning of the immortal and devil war. Qin Wentian discovered that he possessed supreme strength, incomparably tyrannical, able to control the situation of the war. The experts of the immortal realms invited him to join their righteous crusade against the myriad devil islands. If it was before, he wouldn't hesitate to join this crusade. But now he was hesitating. Should he join the war? Should he follow the great army of the immortal realms and slaughter the myriad devil islands? He entered the myriad devil islands alone and killed all the experts who fought in the immortal realms back then. After that, when he heard the pleas of countless experts, he sealed the devil wall of the myriad devil islands, making it even more sturdy. After that, he turned and departed. Everything seemed to have returned to the past. He, Qin Wentian, seemed to have transformed into the myriad devil sovereign, doing what the myriad devil sovereign did in the past, sealing the myriad devil islands. The scene collapsed. Everything was like a dream. Qin Wentian stood under the blue sky, staring up at the sky. Above him a shadow appeared. This shadow quietly stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. What did you see? I saw the true nature of the cultivation world. Battles will never cease. Good and evil will always exist. As long as one lives in this cultivation world, they would never be able to leave or be destroyed. Qin Wentian slowly spoke. Did you see immortals and devils? The shadow asked again. How can there be immortals and devils in this world? Qin Wentian sighed. The scene vanished as Qin Wentian's consciousness gradually returned. He was still ascending step by step, ascending the stairs. However, he discovered that his footsteps were getting lighter and lighter as his strength gradually returned to him. Inclining his head, he could already see the light. This stairway was no longer an endless stairway. Is this the Devil Mountain? Qin Wentian stared at the stairway. He wasn't in a hurry to ascend but sat down to cultivate instead, recovering his strength bit by bit. He discovered that 3 years had already passed on the Devil Mountain. He used a total of 3 years before he arrived here. He discovered that his cultivation base seemed to have deepened and his state of heart was different as well. He had improved by quite a bit. As his strength gradually recovered, Qin Wentian finally stood up. He lifted his feet and walked up the stairway. Very swiftly, he arrived at the top of the Devil Mountain. Instantly, the gazes of many landed on Qin Wentian. These people were currently sweeping the stairway leading to the Devil Gate. They were the guards stationed here. However, with a single glance, each and every one of them exuded a transcendent aura. In fact, Qin Wentian couldn't see through the cultivation bases of some of them. Such a group of experts was actually holding a broom and sweeping the stairway? This was simply unimaginable. However, the truth was right before his eyes. These people stared at Qin Wentian. Many of their eyes gleamed with sharpness. Who are you? Where did you come from? A devil king coldly asked. Qin Wentian, I come from the immortal realms. Qin Wentian slowly spoke, not hiding anything. As the sound of his voice faded, a terrifying aura instantly bore down on Qin Wentian. After that, a raging wind gusted on him, coldness to the extreme. Someone from the immortal realms actually dares to ascend the Devil Mountain? Courting death. An expert stepped out, exuding a fearsome aura. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. At this moment, a voice rang out, impudent. The eyes of everyone flashed, but after that, they froze in place. Don't forget your identities. You guys only ascended the Devil Mountain, but you don't have the qualifications to become a disciple of the Devil Mountain. You also don't have the qualifications to act against those who ascended the mountain. That voice was cold and tyrannical. However, is he Wu Xiao of the immortal realms? An expert spoke unwillingly. Since he ascended the Devil Mountain, that means he has passed the test of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. The Myriad Devil Sovereign naturally has his reasons for guiding him up the mountain. When has it ever been your turn to act so impudently? The cold voice rang out. After that, a middle-aged man walked out from a devil gate. His eyes were cold to the extreme as he stared at the experts here. You come with me. That person stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. Qin Wentian nodded and followed behind him, entering the Devil Gate. He inclined his head and stared up at the mountain, where numerous majestic devil halls could be seen. On the Devil Mountain, there's a myriad devil hall. That expert pointed upwards as he spoke to Qin Wentian. You have passed the test of the myriad devil sovereign, but it doesn't mean that the people of the Devil Mountain have acknowledged you as someone from the immortal realms. As for which devil hall you can enter, it still has to depend on yourself. Let's hope your luck isn't too bad. That expert pointed upwards as he spoke to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian shook his head with a bitter smile. He passed the test of the myriad devil sovereign and came to the Devil Mountain. But this didn't mean that the people of the Devil Mountain wouldn't feel hatred towards Wu Xiao. Chapter 1295. I don't want to join any of the devil halls. Qin Wentian suddenly spoke. The expert beside him stared at him with bewilderment in his eyes. This Wu Xiao actually said that he didn't want to join any of the devil halls? In the Fallen Devil region, I met a white-robed young man. He came from the Devil Mountain and told me that if I want to find some people I can come to the Devil Mountain. Now that I'm here, how should I find the people I'm looking for? Qin Wentian asked. White-robed young man? The eyes of that expert flashed. Qin Wentian transmitted his immortal sense over, transforming into a projection. After that expert saw it, a smile appeared on his face as he shook his head. I don't know. You don't know? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Someone who came down from the Devil Mountain shouldn't lie to me, right? He naturally has his own logic to his words. It's just that maybe the time isn't right yet. The expert beside him laughed. After that, his silhouette flashed as he directly departed, leaving behind only Qin Wentian. Staring at this Devil Mountain, there were countless devil halls here. With a single glance, there was basically no end to it. Maybe the few devil halls at the very top will give you an answer. A voice drifted into Qin Wentian's mind. He inclined his head and stared at the few devil halls at the peak of the mountain. Would there be an answer there? Qin Wentian lifted his feet and walked over. The myriad devil islands had the myriad devil halls, but were there truly 10,000 devil powers? Clearly it was impossible. Since this was the sacred ground of the myriad devil islands, there shouldn't be too many devil halls that could exist eternally on the Devil Mountain. Most of the devil halls weren't too vast. There might only be a single devil hall. There was a straight path leading to the devil hall at the very top. Qin Wentian lifted his feet and walked up. Numerous devil statues could be seen on the sides of the path. Each of them exuded a powerful divine charm and were extremely lifelike. Qin Wentian could sense the devil will contained within them. As Qin Wentian continued upwards, the devil will unceasingly rushed into Qin Wentian's eyes. Immortals and devils clashed together. The energy he cultivated wasn't suitable for the will of the Devil Islands. Hence, he closed his eyes and continued upwards. His footsteps were extremely quick, wanting to reach the top as quickly as possible. He was filled with curiosity towards the devil halls on the Devil Mountain, and wanted to see what sort of place it was exactly. From the devil halls on both sides, powerful devil wills gushed out unceasingly, sweeping over Qin Wentian. However, he didn't pay too much attention to them. Although it was difficult to ascend the Devil Mountain, given how many geniuses there were on the myriad devil islands, there would still be people who would ascend the mountain occasionally. It wasn't strange for Qin Wentian to appear here. At this moment, the roar of a dragon rang out. Qin Wentian turned his gaze over only to see a demonic dragon rushing out from the clouds of the Devil Mountain, directly descending on the mountain. The terrifying demonic dragon pulled the chariot upwards, exuding an incomparably imposing aura. It was like an emperor riding the chariot, patrolling the world. Qin Wentian frowned, staring at the figure in the chariot. It was actually someone he was familiar with, Yulong Shangtu. Yulong Shangtu was patrolling the myriad devil islands, monitoring everything under the heavens. Now that he returned, it just so happened that Qin Wentian ascended the Devil Mountain. The demonic dragon soared up. Yulong Shangtu, who was seated on the chariot, saw Qin Wentian. His eyes gleamed with a bright light as he roared. A moment later, the dragon of darkness roared unceasingly, shaking the heavens and earth as it sped towards Qin Wentian. Not long after, Yulong Shangtu arrived with his imperial dragon army. The gigantic dragon of darkness spat out its breath at Qin Wentian, exuding a terrifying sense of danger. You actually ascended the Devil Mountain? Yulong Shangtu's eyes were incomparably cold. That battle with Qin Wentian was a battle of humiliation for him. However, that young man who defeated him before actually ascended the Devil Mountain. Just like what he said, if he ascended the Devil Mountain one day, would he be an immortal or a devil? Qin Wentian smiled at Yulong Shangtu. Being able to be so fearless on the Devil Mountain. Seems like the status of the Devil Hall Yulong Shangtu was in wasn't low. Roar! A dragon roar rang out. From both sides, more and more experts appeared, standing in the air as they stared at Qin Wentian. This young man who ascended the Devil Mountain seemed to have some grudges with Yulong Shangtu. You are truly audacious. Yulong Shangtu's voice was ice-cold. You came from the immortal realms and are a heaven chosen from a peak power. What is your purpose for coming to the Devil Mountain? Immortal realms Wuxiao? Also, he is from a peak power of the immortal realms? The eyes of everyone flashed. Let's go to the Devil Hall at the top to take a look. Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Haha, stealing the cultivation arts of my Devil Mountain? Trying to pry into the secrets of my Devil Mountain? Yulong Shangtu's eyes were cold to the extreme. If it wasn't for the fact that killing is forbidden on the Devil Mountain, you would already be dead now. Scram down the mountain yourself and never come back here again. Qin Wentian stared at Yulong Shangtu as a mocking expression appeared on his face. He then continued, I passed the test of the Myriad Devil Sovereign and ascended the Devil Mountain. Why do you give me the feeling that you are the master of this Devil Mountain? Also, using such an attitude to speak to me, don't you feel any shame in your heart? Don't forget how arrogant you were back then, how you were defeated by me. Yulong Shangtu was defeated by him before. The crowd was in an uproar. For this generation of Devil Foundation experts on the Devil Mountain, although Yulong Shangtu couldn't be considered a character at the peak, his talent and strength were naturally extraordinary, since he represented the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall in the Myriad Devil Islands. Right now, Yulong Shangtu was already a 9th-level Devil Foundation expert. Yet, he was actually defeated? If you know how the word shame is written, just scram. Qin Wentian lifted his foot and continued upwards, ignoring Yulong Shangtu and the others. Roar! A dragon roar shook the sky. Yulong Shangtu coldly spoke. If an immortal Wuxiao is allowed to ascend to the Devil Hall at the peak of the Devil Mountain, that would be a humiliation to all of you, as well as a humiliation to our Myriad Devil Islands. As the sound of Yulong Shangtu's voice faded, several experts walked out from the path Qin Wentian took. Their cultivation bases were all at the peak of Devil Foundation. If they weren't at this level, they wouldn't step out to obstruct Qin Wentian. Since you are the immortal Wuxiao of the immortal realms, just descend the mountain. A devil cultivator coldly spoke. The Myriad Devil Sovereign allowed me to come here. How can I not go up to take a look? Qin Wentian calmly spoke. His footsteps didn't stop. If you continue upwards from here, you will have to reach the Devil Hall at the peak of the mountain. Do you know how many Devil Halls there are and how many statues there are? Do you think it's possible to ascend? That devil cultivator's voice was ice cold. Only to see that at different levels above him, more and more people stepped out, blocking Qin Wentian's path. At this moment, Qin Wentian was even more certain that different people would have different experiences if they ascended the Devil Mountain. The test of the Myriad Devil Islands for him was to question immortals and devils. However, he had never tried to interrogate the hearts of the devil cultivators of the Myriad Devil Islands. These junior devil cultivators still had an instinctive aversion to the immortal realms. Such emotions would cause them to always be on guard against Wuxiao. At the same time, the sense of danger would also cause them to put in more effort in their cultivation. Even if there are millions of devil halls, millions of statues, and there is a devil cultivator standing on each statue, I will still ascend the mountain eventually. Qin Wentian quietly spoke. He lifted his foot and continued forward. His aura circulated as law energy gushed forth, permeating the surroundings. That powerful body of laws gave off a feeling of indestructibility. In Qin Wentian's hands, a black ancient halberd appeared, gleaming with destructive dark golden light. Boom! The devil cultivator above unleashed a terrifying aura. Qin Wentian's silhouette flashed, resembling a great rock. The ancient halberd in his hand pierced out, and in an instant, the shadow of a great rock bloomed. Demonic arts had long been infused into his halberd technique. Terrifying law energy gushed forth, instantly burying the devil cultivator in front of him, destroying all his attacks. With a boom, that devil cultivator was flung through the air as a statue beside him shattered into pieces. This man is a peak-level genius of the immortal realms, from one of the strongest powers in the immortal realms. He came to my devil mountain with ulterior motives. Yulong Shengtu stood on his dragon of darkness as he coldly spoke. More and more experts stood on that path. Everyone who ascended the devil mountain were all extremely outstanding geniuses. But today, the person standing before them was none other than Qin Wentian from the immortal realms. He was a terrifying existence that could kill 9th-level geniuses when he was only at the 7th level of immortal foundation. His ancient halberd stabbed out again and again. Each time he did so, a different greater demon would appear. Dragons, vermilion birds, great rock, divine elephants that could suppress everything. Qin Wentian continued upwards. Even if the entire mountain is filled with devil cultivators, they still won't be able to obstruct my heart. The ancient halberd in Qin Wentian's hand shone with boundless light. He struck out once more, causing a terrifying destructive demon dragon to shake the heavens and earth, blasting a devil cultivator through the air. At this moment, Qin Wentian was like a devil god. Everywhere he passed by, none of the devil cultivators could resist him. On the path to the peak of the devil mountain, numerous devil cultivators were flung through the air. Devil kings didn't interfere, and devil foundation experts were unstoppable. Everyone already knew that Qin Wentian had defeated Yulong Shengtu before, and naturally knew how strong he was. But they didn't expect him to be this strong. In a devil hall at the peak of the devil mountain, an old man stood there with a smile on his face. He lowered his head and stared at Qin Wentian's battlefield. He then laughed in a low voice. I asked you if you wanted to kill all the geniuses in the immortal realms. Yet, you actually lured them all to the devil mountain. The person he was referring to was naturally the white-robed young man from back then. Right now, that white-robed young man had long left the devil mountain and was in the immortal realms. However, a Wu Xiu from the immortal realms ascended the stairway, using an ancient halberd to defeat all the devil cultivators. This is also an extremely interesting matter. That old man continued mumbling to himself. A faint smile could be seen in his eyes. This wasn't the first immortal realm genius who ascended the devil mountain. About 2 years ago, there was one who only used a single day to ascend the mountain. Chapter 1296. The Devil Mountain was in chaos. Qin Wentian wielded an ancient halberd as he ascended the mountain, moving towards the devil hall at the peak. Countless devil cultivators stood on the ancient pathway. None of them could obstruct him. The ancient halberd gleamed with a dark golden light, formed from the energy of his astral souls. It contained a terrifying destructive might, and every time it slashed out, it would be unleashed by his fiend god body. With God's hand, the might of the great Tao was at the extreme. Even for the elites of the Devil Mountain, there was no one who could defend against it. Yulong Shengtu had an unsightly expression on his face. The dragon of darkness below him roared, staring at Qin Wentian as he slaughtered his way up. No one could obstruct him. Rumble! At this moment, Qin Wentian slashed out with his halberd again, injuring a devil cultivator in front of him. After that, he inclined his head and stared at the air as he coldly spoke. You are merely a defeated opponent. Why must you send yourself to be defeated? The myriad devil sovereign can even accept me, a Wu Xiu of the immortal realms. Yet these juniors of the Devil Mountain are like mantises trying to stop a chariot. The knowledge of humans is truly related to their cultivation bases. Are you saying that the devil cultivators of my mountain have no knowledge? Yulong Shengtu roared in rage. As the sound of his voice rang out, the devil might radiating from many of the devil cultivators grew even stronger. However, when they saw Qin Wentian ascending step by step, their hearts were filled with shock. Seems like what Yulong Shengtu said was true. This man was a genius at the peak of the immortal realms and was definitely from a supreme power. Why would the myriad devil sovereign allow an immortal Wu Xiu to pass his test? After arriving at the peak of the Devil Mountain, if you continue to block my path, I won't show mercy. Qin Wentian's voice was cold, sweeping upwards. From above, several devil cultivators descended. Their eyes were cold, exuding devil might. They knew that if they continued to block Qin Wentian, it would be impossible for them to do so. Most probably, they would have to join forces to attack him. Upon seeing this scene, Qin Wentian released his perfect immortal foundation. Instantly, boundless light enveloped him as the shadow of a great rock appeared, dragging Qin Wentian along with it. The wings of the great rock fluttered, and instantly, Qin Wentian transformed into a beam of light, shooting up into the air. Everywhere the ancient halberd passed, a demonic dragon, rock, black tortoise, divine elephant, vermilion bird, Kirin, true Ho, and chaos appeared. A terrifying vortex appeared ahead, with the ancient halberd as the center. The 8 demons revolved around it, and even before the ancient halberd touched the bodies of those devil cultivators, they already felt their bodies trembling uncontrollably. All of their attacks and defenses were shattered into pieces. Yulong Shangtu's countenance instantly changed. He could sense the vortex in front of the ancient halberd. The 8 greater demons opened up a path, swallowing the heavens and earth, exuding boundless might. The devil cultivators ahead were all sucked into the vortex as they screamed in agony. However, after that they were all flung through the air. Qin Wentian still used external force to repel them. He didn't kill them. The devil cultivators above unceasingly retreated, opening up a path for him. Numerous statues exploded, and numerous devil cultivators were heavily injured. When the shadow of the great rock stopped, Qin Wentian also halted. Behind him, a large number of devil cultivators had already collapsed. Qin Wentian didn't turn his head. He only stared at the devil cultivators ahead. With the ancient halberd in his hands, he continued forward. When he passed by a devil cultivator, that devil cultivator didn't move. He merely stared at him as he continued on his way. Qin Wentian simply walked step by step through the crowd. Nobody obstructed him. All of a sudden, a devil cultivator suddenly acted. When Qin Wentian passed by him, that devil cultivator slashed out with an incomparably fast speed, akin to a black-colored bolt of lightning. Boom! The devil saber slashed onto Qin Wentian's body, but it felt like it had slashed an incomparably tough divine weapon. The saber actually had no way to penetrate through. That devil cultivator launched a sneak attack. How could it break through Qin Wentian's fiend-godlike body? At the peak level of immortal foundation, right now Qin Wentian's defense had already reached a terrifying level. Qin Wentian's ancient halberd was like a sharp sword as he slashed out. Just as the devil's saber was about to land on his body, a line of blood appeared as the devil cultivator screamed in agony, almost losing his life. However, Qin Wentian acted like he didn't see it. He continued on his way up. No one continued to launch sneak attacks. Everyone seemed to understand that unless there were a few people who walked out from the devil halls at the peak of the devil mountain, there was basically no one who would be able to obstruct this immortal realm Wuxiu. Someone from the immortal realms was able to pass the test set by the myriad devil sovereign. As expected, he had shocking talent. Yulong Shangtu turned ashen. He finally saw Qin Wentian's combat prowess more clearly. This fellow from the immortal realms, even on the devil mountain, it wasn't an easy thing to find someone who could defeat him at the devil foundation realm. He could only watch on helplessly as Qin Wentian continued on his way up. Because, although it wasn't forbidden to fight on the devil mountain, under normal circumstances, devil kings were forbidden from acting against the devil foundation Wuxiu. Right now, Qin Wentian was already standing on the peak of the devil mountain. In that case, Yulong Shangtu couldn't command devil kings to act against him, unless he himself could defeat Qin Wentian. There was no one ahead. Although the path was long, he would eventually arrive at his destination. Qin Wentian got closer and closer to the peak. He could finally sense the majestic aura emanating from the devil halls. Finally, the path became extremely wide, leading to different directions. Each direction led to a different devil hall on the mountain peak. When viewed from below, the devil halls were lined up in a row. But when viewed from above, the distance between the devil halls was extremely far. At this moment, from one direction, a figure could be seen flying over. He sped towards the direction where Qin Wentian was at. Qin Wentian also saw this figure. When he saw the other party, his gaze froze, filled with bewilderment. Finally, this figure arrived before him and patted Qin Wentian on his shoulder. I knew you would come here. It's just that I didn't expect you to be so slow. This Myriad Devil Islands is truly not a good place. The Devil Mountain is the same as well. When did you come? Qin Wentian asked in astonishment. I've been here for over 2 years. The other party replied. 2 years? Qin Wentian's gaze froze. He then asked, how long did you take to ascend the Devil Mountain? A day. The other party replied. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed as he stared at the monk motionlessly. This monk used a single day to ascend the Devil Mountain? So the person in front of him was actually the monk Bujia from Wenxin Temple. That extremely shameless monk Bujia. He said that he used a day to ascend the Devil Mountain. You're not lying to me? Qin Wentian had a look of suspicion on his face. What's there to lie to you about? Don't tell me, just talking about this makes me feel depressed. Tell me, is the Myriad Devil Sovereign sick? What kind of test is that? The Buddhist Tao and Devil Tao are all related to life and death. What does it have to do with me? Who asked me to walk that path when I was born? I accidentally walked up the Devil Mountain and you call that a test? Only an idiot wouldn't pass. Bujia cursed in a depressed manner. It was like his intelligence had been greatly insulted. Qin Wentian's face was filled with black lines. He looked at Bujia and felt his heart twitching. How could there be such a shameless monk in the world? This bastard monk was even someone with outstanding talent in Wenxin Temple, and was doted on by his 2 senior brothers. This was simply a humiliation to the Buddhist sect. A humiliation to Wenxin Temple. Why? Don't tell me you spent a few years? Bujia saw Qin Wentian's lips twitching. His eyes flashed as he asked weakly. No, how could that be? Qin Wentian saw Bujia's gaze gradually turning into extreme disdain. He couldn't help but speak. If he said that he spent 3 years to ascend the Devil Mountain, it was unknown how much disdain he would receive from this shameless monk. Really? Bujia looked seriously at Qin Wentian. Yes. Qin Wentian nodded seriously. I naturally believe in you. If you are like those mediocre people who spent half a year to a year before you could ascend the Devil Mountain, you would truly be trash. Bujia spoke in a light voice. He even intentionally repeated, yes, trash. This shameless monk. Qin Wentian cursed Bujia in his heart. Could this monk be doing this on purpose? Brother Qin, am I right? Bujia asked innocently. Yes. Qin Wentian nodded. After that, he changed the topic. You have already stayed on the Devil Mountain for 2 years. How have you been? Don't mention it. The people on the Devil Mountain are all dumbfounded because they believe in the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Those people from the Devil Hall told me that I'm very suitable to inherit their Devil Tao, and can comprehend the ancient Devil will. But I'm a Buddhist cultivator. How can I be suitable? Those fellows said that it's because I've cultivated the Buddhist cultivation art that I'm more suitable. They want me to stay on the Devil Mountain to receive the inheritance of their Devil Hall, and even want to pass the position of the Devil Hall Lord to me. Don't you think that's a little silly? Bujia spoke in a low voice. Qin Wentian blinked and asked, then are you going to cultivate or not? Aren't you asking obvious questions? As a Buddhist cultivator, an esteemed monk of the Wenxin Temple, how can I not cultivate devil arts after coming to this place? Only by understanding them can I enlighten them. If I don't enter hell, who would? Bujia spoke righteously. Qin Wentian almost coughed out a mouthful of old blood. Being able to be as shameless as Bujia was also a type of talent. Aren't you worried that Buyu and Reverend Buchan would scold you? Qin Wentian asked. Don't mention those 2 smelly monks. They actually had the heart to toss such an outstanding junior apprentice brother of theirs into the Myriad Devil Islands instead of coming here with me. They have no sense of brotherhood at all. I will never recognize them as my senior apprentice brothers again. Bujia ruthlessly spoke. Junior brother, are you talking about me? At this moment, another voice rang out. A powerful devil king walked over and soon arrived here. Junior brother, why aren't you cultivating properly? Why are you here again? Greetings, senior brother. Bujia immediately turned and respectfully greeted with a smile on his face. Before this, Bujia was still asking if these devil cultivators had become stupid. But in the blink of an eye, his attitude had completely changed, completely refreshing Qin Wentian's understanding of shamelessness. Junior brother has comprehended something during these few days, so I came here to relax. Bujie said gently. So that is the case. This is. That devil king looked at Qin Wentian and asked. This is Qin Wentian's brother Qin, my friend. Although his talent is slightly lower than mine, he is still top-notch. Bujie spoke calmly. The devil king nodded. To be able to receive such praise from junior brother, he must be really talented. Qin Wentian stood there and had an urge to die. How did he get to know such a shameless monk? Chapter 1297. Monk Bujie was one of the outstanding Buddhist cultivators of the Ascart Temple. He was said to be proficient in all arts of the Buddhist sect, and he didn't speak or get angry. Two powerful cultivators from the Buddhist sect doted on him, and even acted as his protector. From this, one could see how high Bujie's status was in the Ascart Temple. However, this smelly monk was shameless to the extreme. He didn't have the bearing of a senior monk at all. From the looks of it, he was already on the path of devil cultivation, never to return. Qin Wentian was thinking in his heart, was this the fortune of the devil hall, or was it a calamity for the devil hall? That devil cultivator whom Bujie referred to as senior brother glanced below. It was unknown how many people were injured along the way. Qin Wentian actually fought his way up. This was much more impressive compared to his junior brother Bujie back then. Back then when Bujie ascended the Devil Mountain, how would he dare to claim that he was Wuxiu of the Buddhist path? He would politely greet everyone he met along the way. This devil cultivator still remembered the first time he met Bujie and felt that his junior brother was truly an obedient and gentle cultivator. You are also a Buddhist cultivator? That devil king stared at Qin Wentian as his eyes gleamed with light. Qin Wentian shuddered. Why did this devil king seem to be extremely interested in Buddhist cultivators? Buddha and devil were even on opposite sides, yet he didn't mind at all. How was he like those people below him who were filled with hatred for him? No. Qin Wentian shook his head. What a pity. But since junior brother Bujie admires you so much, why don't you head to the myriad ancient devil hall together with me? That devil king extended an invitation to Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian didn't expect that it would be so easy to enter the devil hall despite how difficult it was to ascend. It's one thing for the myriad ancient devil hall to research the cultivation of ancient devils. But why do you still want to accept Wuxiu from the immortal realms? Yulong Shengtu flew over on his dragon as he coldly spoke. The matters of my myriad ancient devil hall. Since when is it your turn to interfere? That devil king glanced over. He was like an ancient devil as he stared at Yulong Shengtu. The demonic dragon beneath Yulong Shengtu let out a series of roars. Yet that devil king was still coldly staring at him. Humph! Yulong Shengtu was speechless. The devil halls didn't interfere too much with each other. This was especially so for the mysterious myriad ancient devil hall. They had always been extremely strange. I've never seen such a meddlesome person. Qin Wentian shook his head and said to the demon king, I will consider your suggestion carefully. As he spoke, he transmitted his voice to Bujie. Why did you come to the Devil Mountain? Did someone ask you to come here? Before this I kept a low profile in the Fallen Devil region. After that, I met a mysterious white-robed young man and he told me to come to the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. That mysterious white-robed young man actually managed to find Bujie? In that case, it was very possible that he had found all the peak geniuses of the immortal realms who entered the myriad devil islands. Wasn't that mysterious fellow a little too terrifying? Inclining his head, Qin Wentian stared at Yulong Shengtu as he asked, Back then, the person who asked me to come to the Devil Mountain and chase you away should also be a cultivator from the Devil Mountain, right? Which devil hall is he from? Yulong Shengtu's eyes turned cold when he thought of that person. That bastard, if it wasn't for him, he would have already ordered his men to kill Qin Wentian on the Fallen Devil Island. How would Qin Wentian have the chance to enter the Devil Mountain? Qin Wentian saw that Yulong Shengtu didn't reply. He used his immortal sense to form a projection and asked the Devil King, Senior, is that person? Yeah. That Devil King narrowed his eyes. After that, he replied. He's someone from the Apostle Devil Hall. Apostle Devil Hall? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Yes, the Apostle Devil Hall. The people of this hall are known as apostles. The white-robed young man you met is none other than an apostle. He should have left the Devil Mountain to roam around. That Devil King stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. These people from the immortal realms were actually recruited by an apostle. This was truly interesting. But this was fine as well. Since they were recruited by an apostle, there shouldn't be any problems for them to join their Devil Hall. As people of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, they had absolute faith in the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Since they managed to ascend the Devil Mountain under the test of the Myriad Devil Sovereign, what doubts would they have? So what if Qin Wentian was Wuxiu? So what if Qin Wentian was a Buddhist cultivator? He had never seen a devil cultivator as suitable as Bujia to inherit their Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. The Apostle Devil Hall is one of the hardest devil halls to enter. They won't recruit people passively. Even if you kneel outside like those descendants of devil emperors, it would be useless. Only when they find you would you become their apostle. That Devil King continued. Up there, what other devil halls are there? Qin Wentian pointed to the air as he spoke. Apostle Devil Hall, Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, Imperial Dragon Devil Hall, Sky Devil Hall, Judiciary Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall, as well as the Saint Devil Hall. That Devil King slowly spoke. A total of 7 devil halls. Judiciary Devil Hall? Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with sharpness. Back then in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, he seemed to have met someone from the Judiciary Devil Hall before. Why? You want to join the Judiciary Devil Hall? That Devil King stared at Qin Wentian. I advise you to give up. The Judiciary Devil Hall is the same as the Apostle Devil Hall. They don't recruit outsiders. Only those who obtain the inheritance of the Judiciary Devil Hall would be accepted. Naturally, if you are just an ordinary guard, you might have a chance. Which Devil Hall is the strongest? Qin Wentian curiously asked. The Saint Devil Hall is the hall where the Myriad Devil Sovereign was born. It is a place of faith, and when the Devil Mountain was established, there were only 3 other Devil Halls supporting the Saint Devil Hall. The Apostle Devil Hall, Judiciary Hall, and Darkness Hall. The Devil King slowly spoke to Qin Wentian. The apostles of the Apostle Devil Hall roamed the world, spreading faith and observing the world. They are the apostles of the Apostle Devil Hall. The Judiciary Devil Hall is in charge of judgment. They are the Punishment Devil Hall. Under their judgment, no one would dare to disobey. The Darkness Devil Hall is in charge of darkness. Their eyes are filled with darkness and they walk in the darkness. As time flowed by, the supreme experts of the Devil Mountain fell one after another. The blue sea turned into mulberry fields and the Devil Mountain changed, giving birth to our Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. We are able to see the glory of the ancestors of the Devil Mountain and inherit the power of ancient devils. We are one of the most important devil halls of the Devil Mountain. The Imperial Dragon Devil Hall controlled the Darkness Devil Dragon and started to monitor the world on behalf of the apostles. Hence, the people who walk here are known as the Imperial Dragon Saint. In the past, they could be said to be the vassals of the Apostle Devil Hall, but after a powerful character appeared, they became independent and became the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. The Sky Devil Hall was also one of the devil halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain after a powerful devil cultivator appeared. Qin Wentian quietly listened. From the Devil King's words, he faintly understood the structure of the Devil Mountain. The Saint Devil Hall was a place of faith, the place where the Myriad Devil Sovereign resided. Right now, it might only exist as a form of faith. The Apostle Devil Hall, Judiciary Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall. These 3 halls were orthodox devil halls and had already existed when the Devil Mountain was first established. Their statuses were naturally the highest. Since the Apostle and Judiciary Devil Halls didn't recruit disciples passively, the Darkness Devil Hall should be the same as well. The Myriad Ancient Devil Hall existed purely for the sake of ancient devils. Their mission was to pass on the power of the supreme existences who had disappeared from the Devil Mountain back then. This was an extremely unique devil hall, and yet, the monk Bujia was regarded highly by the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, and he even had the possibility to inherit the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. The Imperial Dragon Devil Hall and Sky Devil Hall were established purely because of the birth of supreme experts. Just think about it, if a supreme devil emperor was born from the thousands of devil halls below, the status of the Devil Hall would also be raised to another level. In fact, they might even have the chance to ascend to the peak of the Devil Mountain and establish a Devil Hall there. However, the myriad Devil Islands and Devil Mountain had already existed for countless years. But there were only 3 Devil Halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain. From this, one could very well imagine how difficult it was. Senior, I wish to go up and take a look. Qin Wentian spoke to the Devil King. After 3 years of tempering on the Devil Mountain, his view of immortals and devils was very indifferent. Regardless of the immortal realms or the myriad Devil Islands, there was no difference in terms of essence. It was just that the location was different. There was no need for him to care about immortals and devils. Becoming an immortal with a single thought, becoming a devil with a single thought. The Dongsheng Heaven Emperor was an immortal emperor respected by countless people. Back then, when he started the war in his particle world, he had never cared about the lives of the ordinary people. Right now, Qin Wentian was extremely curious about the Devil Halls on the Devil Mountain. Might as well, you can go and take a look. The Devil King spoke to Qin Wentian. You are not going to accompany me to the myriad ancient Devil Hall for cultivation? Bujie stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. The myriad ancient Devil Hall has many inheritances, but if you can obtain the power of ancient devils, it would be the strongest Devil Hall on the Devil Mountain. It would truly be a pity if you don't go. The Devil King from the myriad ancient Devil Hall felt extremely satisfied when he heard this. He then replied, Junior brother's words are logical. Qin Wentian was gradually immune to Bujie's shamelessness. He then spoke, let's take a look first before considering. In any case, given how powerful the myriad ancient Devil Hall is, I might not be able to gain their favor. Brother Qin, you still have some self-awareness. After all, not everyone can be like me. Bujie patted Qin Wentian on his shoulder as he spoke. Shameless. Yulong Shengtu, who was in the air, coldly spoke. However, he couldn't do anything to these two. No wonder you were so afraid of that white-robed young man back then. So this is the case. Qin Wentian glanced at Yulong Shengtu before he lifted his foot and continued upwards. The people from the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall all had cold expressions on their faces, gleaming with sharpness. Qin Wentian continued upwards, gradually reaching the peak of the Devil Mountain. When he stared at the majestic Devil Halls, a hint of respect actually appeared in his heart. Respect towards the myriad Devil Sovereign, establishing the myriad Devil Islands, using the Devil Mountain as a place of faith. As long as his voice rang out from the Devil Mountain, he would be able to command the entire myriad Devil Islands. Such faith was simply too terrifying. Qin Wentian saw many devil cultivators outside the Devil Halls. Some of them were bowing, and some were even kneeling, wanting to enter the Devil Halls. That place is the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. Bujie pointed in the direction of a Devil Hall. For a character like Yulong Shengtu, let's forget about this Devil Hall. Qin Wentian shook his head. The eyes of Yulong Shengtu, who was in the air, were filled with killing intent. He wanted to see how Qin Wentian would be rejected at the entrance. No Devil Hall would accept Wu Xiao, who came from the immortal realms. Even if Qin Wentian ascended the Devil Mountain, he wouldn't be able to enter any of the Devil Halls. Chapter 1298. Qin Wentian continued walking up while Bujie followed behind him. Which one is the Apostle Devil Hall? Qin Wentian asked. Bujie pointed to a direction as Qin Wentian continued walking. He was extremely curious about the Apostle Devil Hall. Back then, that mysterious white-robed young man who guided him to the Devil Mountain seemed to want to bring all the geniuses of the immortal realms to the Devil Mountain. What was his purpose exactly? When Qin Wentian entered the Apostle Devil Hall, he discovered that there were very few people here. So few that Qin Wentian couldn't even see a single person when he entered. After walking to a spacious area, he ascended the stone steps and a great hall could be seen before him. There was a signboard at the side, but there was no one there. Why are there so few disciples in the Apostle Devil Hall? Qin Wentian curiously stared at Bujie, who was beside him. The number of apostles is low. The number of people in the Devil Hall would naturally be low as well. Also, these apostles are very independent. They can easily choose the devil children as their guards. Bujie spoke. Qin Wentian bowed slightly. Junior Qin Wentian pays his respects to Senior of the Apostle Devil Hall. Bzz. A gust of wind gusted by as an old man appeared before Qin Wentian. This old man was smiling at Qin Wentian. Senior. Qin Wentian was somewhat shocked by the speed of this old man. He was so fast that he couldn't even detect it. This ordinary-looking old man might very well be a Devil Emperor character. What are you doing here? The Apostle Devil Hall isn't suitable for you. Just leave, just leave. The old man waved his hand at Qin Wentian, directly ordering him to leave. This caused Qin Wentian to be astonished. Senior, do you know why the apostles told us to come to the Devil Mountain? How would I know? The old man rolled his eyes at Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian bitterly smiled and shook his head. Seems like he wouldn't be able to get any information from this old man in the Apostle Devil Hall. If that's the case, then I'll take my leave. Qin Wentian turned and left. The old man smiled as he watched Bujie and Qin Wentian leave. He was thinking in his heart that the Devil Mountain should be lively now. After exiting the Apostle Devil Hall, Qin Wentian frowned. Out of the 7 great Devil Halls, excluding the Apostle Devil Hall and Imperial Dragon Devil Hall, according to what the Devil King said earlier, the Judiciary Devil Hall and Darkness Devil Hall should be in a similar situation as the Apostle Devil Hall. Even if he went there, he most probably wouldn't be able to enter. In that case, only the Saint Devil Hall, Sky Devil Hall and Myriad Ancient Devil Hall remained. The Myriad Ancient Devil Hall was the Devil Hall Bujia was in, while the Saint Devil Hall was the birthplace of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. It seemed like in the end he could only choose the Sky Devil Hall. Hence, Qin Wentian turned and headed in the direction of the Sky Devil Hall. The mysterious young man guided him here. Since he had already ascended the Devil Mountain, he should go to one of the Devil Halls to take a look. Before the Sky Devil Hall, a cold devilish intent gushed forth. This Sky Devil Hall seemed more like the Devil Halls in Qin Wentian's memories. Devil Qi enveloped the entire place, and there were experts guarding outside. It was unknown what the situation inside was like. Qin Wentian guessed that it was impossible for these Devil Halls to be as small as they appeared on the surface. There must be another dimension within. If not, no matter how vast this Devil Mountain was, how could it contain the Myriad Devil Hall? This was a place of faith in the Myriad Devil Islands. The 7 supreme Devil Halls stood at the highest peak. Even if there was only a single Devil Hall, its size should be able to encompass the entire Devil Mountain. Only then would it be in line with the majesty of the Devil Halls. And for the Myriad Devil Halls to exist on the same mountain, there was only one possibility. Each of the Devil Halls had their own dimension within. Numerous cold auras gushed forth. Qin Wentian furrowed his brows. After that, he saw a group of devil cultivators walking out. There were Devil Kings among them, as well as many Devil Foundation experts. The crowd dispersed, standing before Qin Wentian and Bujia. Bujia shrunk back and hid behind Qin Wentian in a very loyal manner. Amidst the crowd, a silhouette walked out. Qin Wentian's eyes narrowed as a cold gleam of light flickered within. This figure similarly stared at Qin Wentian, his eyes gleaming with killing intent. You are actually someone from the Devil Mountain? Qin Wentian stared at the person before him. This person could be said to be an old friend. Qin Wentian was already acquainted with this person before he broke through to Immortal Foundation. Back then in the City of Ancient Emperors, the number 2 ranker of the Immortal Ascension rankings, Mo killed the number 1 ranker Zi Daoyang. Zi Daoyang was the son of Zidi, a peak stage Immortal Emperor. At that time many people guessed Mo's identity, guessing that he might be from a major power in the Myriad Devil Islands. After that, in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, Mo once acted, wanting to devour Little Rascal. Right now, Qin Wentian finally knew what sort of character Mo was. He was someone from the Devil Mountain, someone from the Sky Devil Hall. In addition, his status in the Sky Devil Hall wasn't low. You actually came to the Devil Mountain. Mo's voice was extremely cold. In truth, back then in the City of Ancient Emperors, he hadn't ascended the Devil Mountain yet. The reason he entered the City of Ancient Emperors was because he wanted to make preparations to ascend the Devil Mountain. However, in the City of Ancient Emperors, although he obtained many benefits, some of his inheritances were snatched away by Qin Wentian. Right now, Qin Wentian actually came to his territory, a place of faith in the Myriad Devil Islands. Everyone, I'm someone from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. I still have some matters to attend to and will take my leave first. Bujia clasped his hands to everyone. This fellow Qin Wentian was truly a talent, having so many enemies even on the Devil Mountain. First it was Yulong Shangtu and now it was the Sky Devil Hall. One Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms. Being able to encounter two enemies at the peak of the Devil Mountain was also something to be proud of. After speaking, Bujia wasn't polite at all and directly turned to leave. Qin Wentian was completely convinced. Glancing at the experts from the Myriad Devil Hall, there were many at the peak of Devil Foundation. But as long as the Devil Kings didn't act, Qin Wentian didn't have much fear. He coldly glanced at Emosia and spoke, "Those who ascended the Devil Mountain can't be touched. You won't be able to do anything to me." After speaking, he turned and left. "Follow me." Emosia stared at the back of Qin Wentian as greed flashed in his eyes. The others on the Devil Mountain might not understand Qin Wentian, but he, Emosia, knew very well what sort of character this fellow was. This person himself was a treasure. Qin Wentian felt incomparably depressed in his heart. This vast Devil Mountain actually didn't have a place for him to rest. With so many experts following behind him, it made him even more depressed. On the way, Qin Wentian discovered that there were also experts heading over from another direction. It was Yulong Shangtu leading a group of experts over. Yulong Shangtu's eyes were cold. He similarly followed behind Qin Wentian, wanting to force Qin Wentian to descend the mountain. As long as Qin Wentian descended the mountain, he would die for sure. "Everyone here are from the 7 Devil Halls. Don't you feel that doing this is very boring?" Qin Wentian turned his head and spoke to his pursuers. However, none of them replied. They only quietly followed behind him. "Damnable Bujia bastard." Qin Wentian silently cursed that cowardly monk in his heart. He was simply shameless to the extreme. He didn't even know which way to go on the Devil Mountain and could only wander aimlessly. He also understood that at this moment, it was even more impossible for him to descend the mountain. He came to the Myriad Devil Islands and these people wouldn't dare to kill him if he ascended the mountain. But once he descended, only death would await him. Just like that, Qin Wentian casually traversed many places. When he passed by the foot of a desolate and dilapidated Devil Hall, he suddenly halted and inclined his head as he stared upwards. This Devil Hall was extremely dilapidated and exuded a sense of desolation. However, such a Devil Hall actually quietly stood at the peak of the mountain. Also, when Qin Wentian glanced around, he discovered that the location of this Devil Hall was actually at the center of the mountain. The eyes of the devil cultivators behind him flashed with coldness. What was this fellow planning to do? At this moment, Qin Wentian turned and headed upwards. Impudent! A thunderous roar rang out. A Devil King unleashed his terrifying might and instantly appeared before Qin Wentian. Akin to a gigantic devil, numerous devil cultivators blocked Qin Wentian's path, coldly staring at him. Wu Xiu of the Immortal Realms. Since he dares to take this path, we will kill him without mercy. A powerful devil cultivator coldly spoke. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. Before this, these devil cultivators weren't so nervous. Why were they not allowing him to take this path? Saint Devil Hall. Qin Wentian's gaze froze. He suddenly thought of a devil hall that he had neglected before. This was the birthplace of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. He definitely didn't expect that the Supreme Saint Devil Hall would actually be so dilapidated and desolate. It was the most inconspicuous Devil Hall. The more these people didn't allow Qin Wentian to head there, the more he wanted to take a look. The Saint Devil Hall was originally a Devil Hall he had neglected. But now that these people were so nervous, it actually caused his desire to grow even stronger. I passed the test of the Myriad Devil Sovereign before I ascended the Devil Mountain. Since I'm here, I'm also basking in the radiance of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Wherever you guys can go, I can also go. If not, that would be disrespect to the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Qin Wentian lifted his foot and walked towards that direction. You can try it. An extremely cold aura gushed over. These Devil Kings didn't seem to be willing to give way this time around. Do you want me to go get a judge? At this moment, a voice drifted over. Qin Wentian turned his head and saw a group of experts rushing over. It was none other than Bujia leading the experts from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. Bujia shot a glance at Qin Wentian as though saying, "Look at how loyal I am. I actually brought reinforcements for you. What do you all mean by this? You guys actually allowed Wu Xiu to trample on the sacred ground of our Devil Mountain?" A devil king coldly spoke. Since he ascended the Devil Mountain, he has already obtained the permission of the myriad devil sovereign. No matter where he goes, he would have obtained the myriad devil sovereign's approval. Why can't he do that? An expert from the myriad ancient devil hall berated. Who doesn't know that the founder of your myriad ancient devil hall is a traitor of the immortal realms? We would naturally speak up for Wu Xiao. An expert from the Sky Devil Hall coldly spoke. In an instant, the auras of the experts from the myriad ancient devil hall gushed forth. Only now did Qin Wentian know that the founder of the myriad ancient devil hall was actually Wu Xiao of the immortal realms. Since you want to put it this way, please judge him then. A devil cultivator coldly spoke. After that, someone turned and wanted to leave. Hold on. A devil king from the myriad devil islands coldly spoke. Those fellows from the judiciary devil hall didn't know how to be flexible, they only knew how to judge. Who knew what they were thinking? I truly want to see how a mere Wu Xiao of the immortal realms would be able to take a single step into the sacred ground of our Devil Mountain. That expert's voice was extremely cold as he stepped aside. Qin Wentian was somewhat bewildered. The judiciary devil hall seemed to be in charge of judgment and had an extremely powerful restriction on the Sky Devil Hall. Chapter 1299. The experts of the Sky Devil Hall stepped aside. Qin Wentian continued upwards, and when he passed by them, he could see the coldness in Mosie's eyes. This man was definitely an extremely dangerous character, like a venomous snake. Back then Zi Daoyang was killed by him. Humph! The experts of the Sky Devil Hall coldly snorted at the experts from the myriad ancient Devil Hall as they followed after Qin Wentian. Qin Wentian climbed to the peak of the Devil Mountain step by step. This dilapidated ancient hall was incomparably desolate. Only the stone pillars and walls were left. Even the roof of the Devil Hall was in ruins, as though a great battle had just occurred here. Also, this Devil Hall was the Saint Devil Hall of the Devil Mountain. It had stood here for countless years, yet no one had repaired it. This Devil Hall was very deep, as though it led to an unknown place. Within the Devil Hall, there were many experts. They were either sitting cross-legged or standing there in deep contemplation, not moving at all like statues. Among these people, there were Devil Kings and Devil Foundation experts. They were all in different locations of the Devil Hall, and were incomparably quiet, as though they were one with the hall. Is this place the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain? Qin Wentian mumbled. The Saint Devil Hall was completely different from what he had imagined. Taking a step into the sacred ground of the immortal realms, be careful not to die without a burial ground. A devil cultivator coldly spoke as he stared at Qin Wentian, as though he was extremely unhappy with Wu Xiao entering the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. Back then, the founder of my myriad ancient Devil Hall also entered the Saint Devil Hall before establishing the myriad ancient Devil Hall, becoming one of the 7 Devil Halls of the Devil Mountain. An expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall spoke in disdain. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed with a heavy look. A single sentence from the Devil King of the myriad ancient Devil Hall was sufficient to prove the holiness of this Devil Hall. In fact, a thought appeared in his heart. Could it be that other than the 4 original Devil Halls, there were 3 other Devil Halls, the Sky Devil Hall, Myriad Ancient Devil Hall, and Imperial Dragon Devil Hall? All of them had a connection with this Saint Devil Hall? The people of the Myriad Devil Islands believed in the Myriad Devil Sovereign. However, when he came to the Devil Mountain, he discovered that the Saint Devil Hall of the Myriad Devil Sovereign was actually so dilapidated. In that case, where was the Myriad Devil Sovereign? The so-called Lord of all demons only existed in faith. Did he no longer exist in the real world? There won't be a second Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. A cold voice rang out. The person who spoke wasn't someone from the Sky Devil Hall or the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. Instead, it was a figure who stood in front of the Saint Devil Hall with his back facing them. This person seemed to have been standing there for a very long time, quietly staring at the Saint Devil Hall ahead. Not only for him, other than many experts in the dilapidated Devil Hall, there were also many experts outside staring ahead like they were on a pilgrimage. The devil cultivators of the myriad Devil Islands all had gazes of worship as though they were worshipping a saint. This was especially so for the Devil Halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain. As for the devil cultivators of the Devil Halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain, They also use the same method to stare at the Saint Devil Hall. Everything our myriad ancient Devil Hall has done for the Devil Mountain through these years, the myriad Devil Sovereign is the witness, a Devil King replied. I didn't deny everything you guys have done for the myriad ancient Devil Hall, as well as the strength of the first-generation myriad ancient Devil Emperor. In fact, I'm very respectful towards him. That figure calmly spoke. After that, he slowly turned and stared at Qin Wentian and the others. However, that is the past. The successor of the myriad Devil Sovereign should be a Devil Cultivator of our myriad Devil Islands, a Devil Cultivator from the Devil Halls of the Devil Mountain. He shouldn't be someone from the immortal realms. This is a blasphemy to the Devil race. A child of darkness from the Darkness Devil Hall. Bujia transmitted his voice to Qin Wentian, his tone extremely heavy. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. The Darkness Devil Hall was one of the 3 great Devil Halls that existed together with the first myriad Devil Sovereign. Apostle Devil Hall, Judiciary Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall. The foundations of these 3 halls were extremely deep and incomparably powerful. Since you guys believe in the myriad Devil Sovereign, why would you doubt his decision? Even if it's Wu Xiao of the immortal realms, as long as he ascends the Devil Mountain, it would mean that he has obtained the approval of the myriad Devil Sovereign. Isn't this blasphemy to the myriad Devil Sovereign? Qin Wentian spoke. The myriad Devil Sovereign encompasses the heavens and earth. He can turn everyone into devils. Even if it's Wu Xiao of the immortal realms, he doesn't have any prejudice against him. As someone from the Devil Mountain, I naturally wouldn't dare to show any blasphemy to the myriad Devil Sovereign. However, as the founder of the Devil Mountain and the protector of the myriad Devil Islands, we naturally have to uphold our own will. Our Darkness Devil Hall has always firmly believed that only the purest Devil Cultivators have the qualifications to inherit the myriad Devil Sovereign's legacy. As one of the 3 great Devil Halls, the Darkness Devil Hall seems to have a different will from the Apostle Devil Hall. Qin Wentian spoke. Don't mention the Apostle Devil Hall to me. The young man coldly snorted. Although the Apostle Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall and Judiciary Devil Hall appeared together with the Saint Devil Hall, it's true that their will is completely different. This is especially so for the Apostle Devil Hall and Darkness Devil Hall. As for the Judiciary Devil Hall, they are in charge of judgment. Their will is none other than judgment. Bujia came to the Devil Mountain 2 years earlier, and was highly regarded by the myriad ancient Devil Hall. He naturally understood the situation on the Devil Mountain. Since you believe that only devils have the qualifications to inherit the myriad Devil Sovereign's legacy, why is there a need for you to obstruct immortal cultivators from entering the Saint Devil Hall? Could it be that although you are a pure devil, you are afraid that you are inferior to immortal cultivators? Qin Wentian calmly spoke. Afraid? The child of darkness had a mocking smile on his face. He calmly glanced at Qin Wentian. It's just that the sacred ground of our myriad Devil Islands shouldn't be tainted by dust and dirt. Beside him, quite a few figures slowly turned over, their gazes landing on Qin Wentian. These figures in the sacred ground of the myriad Devil Islands were all extremely terrifying characters. Their wills could even influence the will of the entire Devil Mountain. Devil cultivators were very unhappy with Wu Xiao from the immortal realms. This by itself was an extremely normal thing. And as for Qin Wentian, he just so happened to be from the immortal realms, and right now, he came to the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, wanting to enter to take a look. I feel that when Wu Xiao from the immortal realms enters the Saint Devil Hall, this hall would become even more holy. Qin Wentian calmly spoke, as though he had no intentions of retreating. The tone of the 2 of them seemed calm, but there was a hint of conflict within. Qin Wentian's words were clearly challenging the child of darkness of the Darkness Devil Hall. Yulong Shengtu's eyes were cold. Could it be that Qin Wentian didn't know that the Devil Mountain was the territory of the devils? Even after coming here, he still dared to be so brazen? He simply didn't know the immensity of death. For the people of the Darkness Devil Hall, even if the Judiciary Hall appeared, they wouldn't dare to do anything to them, let alone the child of darkness. This was an existence that could even shake the Judiciary Hall. Qin Wentian took a step forward. The child of darkness still stood there quietly, staring at Qin Wentian, who was moving forward. Qin Wentian continued moving forward, moving towards the Saint Devil Hall. Stop! The child of darkness spoke, his voice was very calm. Yet there was no doubt in his voice. Qin Wentian shook his head and continued on his way. He was filled with admiration towards the myriad devil sovereign. After coming to the Devil Mountain, the other 6 Devil Mountains seemed to be unsuitable for him. But under a stroke of good fortune, the Saint Devil Hall attracted him. How could he not enter? Although there's a rule on the Devil Mountain that anyone who ascends the Devil Mountain is permitted by the myriad devil sovereign and cannot be killed, if there's anyone who dares to challenge the prestige of the Darkness Devil Hall, even if we kill you on the spot, the Judiciary Devil Hall would understand. The Child of Darkness stared at Qin Wentian as he spoke. The expressions of the experts from the myriad ancient Devil Hall changed as their auras fluctuated. But at the same time, they saw the experts standing beside the Child of Darkness crossing their arms in front of their chests, smiling at them. It's best for the myriad ancient Devil Hall not to participate in this matter. One of the experts from the Darkness Devil Hall coldly spoke. Could it be that you don't know how to be flexible? Even on the Devil Mountain you are still so rash. Don't you know how to swallow your anger? Bujia transmitted his voice to Qin Wentian. Even if I can't enter the Saint Devil Hall, so what if I fight? Qin Wentian replied. His footsteps didn't stop. Darkness abruptly descended, enveloping this entire space. With Qin Wentian in the center, the entire space suddenly turned dark, as if he was in complete darkness. Qin Wentian couldn't see anyone. He couldn't see the Child of Darkness. He couldn't see the experts in the surroundings. This entire place was plunged into absolute darkness. La Domain of Darkness? Qin Wentian silently mused. As a Child of Darkness, this person in front of him must have already reached an extremely high level in terms of his comprehension of darkness. As one cultivated, regardless of Immortal Foundation or Devil Foundation experts, they would all step through the gate of the Immortal King or Devil King realm. Once they stepped through that gate, they would continue advancing towards the Immortal King or Devil King realm. The deeper their cultivation base, the closer they would be to the Immortal King or Devil King realm. A cold light flashed, akin to a bolt of lightning slashing down. That was a saber light. It was even more resplendent in the darkness as it slashed down on Qin Wentian. Bang! The saber light slashed down, but Qin Wentian still stood there. His body was also flowing with law energy. His body was the strongest form of law energy. Rumble. Terrifying sounds rang out as terrifying screeches rang out in the darkness. Qin Wentian could sense the entire space trembling. This time around, attacks came from all directions, and the might of the attacks were even more violent. Bang bang bang. Powerful attacks unceasingly slammed into Qin Wentian's body. Those attacks were all spears of darkness, incomparably sharp and had a terrifying penetrative force. Qin Wentian was struck again and again. Even though his defense was at its peak, his body still trembled violently as he felt extremely uncomfortable. This Child of Darkness was clearly much more terrifying compared to Yulong Shangtu. Within his law domain of darkness, even his immortal sense was filled with darkness. Outside the darkness, the others quietly stood there. They could see the law energy of darkness flowing around the Child of Darkness. Qin Wentian, who was enveloped by darkness, halted his steps and was even forced back half a step. From this, they knew that the battle between the two of them had already begun. Senior brother. Bujia glanced at the expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall beside him. This place is the Devil Mountain after all. If he wants to enter the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, he naturally has to pass some trials. If he can't pass them, there's no meaning in entering the sacred ground. The expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall transmitted his voice back. Chapter 1300. Amidst the darkness, Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with light as a pure and holy Buddhic light radiated from him. A heavenly eye seemed to have opened in the center of his brows. In that instant, he saw numerous spears of darkness brimming with destructive might shooting towards him. The trajectory of each spear became exceptionally clear, even though he was still enveloped in darkness. Pointing his finger forward, a terrifying destructive sword slashed out. Tens of thousands of sharp swords converged at a single point, erupting forth with a supreme sword might. The destructive sword of darkness radiated a fearsome sharpness, wanting to slash apart everything. Humph! A clear cold snort rang out. The Child of Darkness seemed to be filled with disdain towards Qin Wentian's reply. He lifted his hand and waved it, causing the space of darkness to expand once more. Within the boundless darkness energy, numerous Devil Kings' heads appeared, causing people to feel a sense of terror. These Devil Kings opened their mouths and spat out devil light, transforming into spears of darkness that pierced through space. The tips of these spears exuded a fearsome sharpness, even stronger compared to the earlier attack. Qin Wentian inclined his head and stared over. When he sensed this powerful attack, countless ancient characters manifested around him, transforming into a suppression art that frenziedly blasted towards the space. Terrifying attacks collided against each other. Qin Wentian continued forward. His eyes seemed to be able to penetrate through the darkness, landing on the Child of Darkness. The Child of Darkness narrowed his eyes as a cold smile appeared on his face. This man actually cultivated a Buddhist art. Could he see through his darkness? But even so, what use would it be? The Devil King's heads of darkness gathered together, landing behind the Child of Darkness, as though they were his astral souls. He lifted his hand and stretched it out towards Qin Wentian. In that instant, a terrifying vortex of darkness abruptly appeared within his domain of darkness, resembling a terrifying black hole of destruction. The space around him spun as he was sucked into it. Qin Wentian's robes fluttered as he took a step forward. He didn't take the initiative to do so, but rather, an incomparably terrifying devouring force pushed him forward, causing him to be unable to stand stably. Boom! Releasing a terrifying aura, Qin Wentian took another step forward involuntarily, causing the ground to tremble. The dark whirlpool in front of him was like a real destructive devil's cave. The darkness could devour everything and destroy everything in the world. Could it be that the Child of Darkness really wants to kill him? This doesn't conform to the rules of the Devil Mountain. However, if the Child of Darkness acted, even the Judiciary Devil Hall would close one eye, right? In any case, the one he killed is an immortal realm cultivator, Wu Xiu. An expert at the side had a look of interest on his face as he quietly stared at Wu Xiu's death. Even if the people from the immortal realms ascended the Devil Mountain, it was fine if they casually entered any of the Devil Halls. But to think that they actually wanted to enter the sacred ground of their Devil Mountain? The Child of Darkness twirled his palm, and an even more terrifying devouring storm appeared. The black hole grew more and more terrifying, and the violent winds wreaked havoc as the black hole continued to expand. This destructive black hole wasn't static, and it could even grow stronger. Within the black vortex, pairs of terrifying Demon King heads appeared, appearing extremely demonic and terrifying. They all opened their mouths to devour everything, forming this destructive storm. Rumble! An extremely terrifying law energy gushed forth from Qin Wentian. Both of his feet were rooted firmly on the ground. However, when he saw the expanding whirlpool, he knew that this was far from enough. Numerous ancient characters of destruction floated before him. Qin Wentian waved his hands and pointed forward. Instantly, countless ancient characters of destruction gushed into the vortex of darkness, causing thunderous rumbling sounds to echo out. However, the vortex of darkness didn't stop expanding. It directly devoured all the ancient characters of destruction as well. This energy is actually extremely similar to the innate technique of the treasured cauldron. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. It was just that the innate technique of the Child of Darkness seemed to be activated by the energy of darkness, while his innate technique was unleashed by the 8 demonic treasured arts. Die. The eyes of the Child of Darkness were cold. This person's strength wasn't bad. To be able to last until now under such an attack. Terrifying dark energy gushed out from his body, fusing with the devouring power. The dark spatial domain roared, and countless tiny vortexes appeared in the darkness, simultaneously devouring towards Qin Wentian's body. Moreover, these vortexes were also expanding, terrifying to the extreme. Rumble! A terrifying demonic aura swept out from Qin Wentian's body. Behind him, the shadow of a demon god seemed to have appeared. A clash between demons and demons. Who would come out on top? Qin Wentian roared, gathering boundless energy and blasted forward. At this moment, numerous demon gods appeared, transforming into incomparably terrifying destructive vortexes, sweeping towards the black hole in front. A shocking destructive energy collided, and 2 similar energies collided, crazily devouring each other. The dark space unceasingly exploded as destructive storms ravaged the surroundings. The countenances of the experts in the surroundings all changed. How could there be such a terrifying commotion? An extremely cold light flashed in the eyes of the child of darkness. To think that Qin Wentian actually possessed an innate technique that could contend against his ultimate art of the Darkness Devil Hall. Not only that, it was a similar innate technique. How could this be possible? He stepped out, advancing forward step by step. With every step he took, the darkness grew stronger. Qin Wentian condensed an ancient halberd in his hand as he similarly stabbed out. Another vortex manifested as the attacks of the two of them clashed against each other. Even space itself seemed on the verge of collapse. The law domain of darkness was also being shattered. Kill! The child of darkness roared. The destructive spears seemed to be boundless. Qin Wentian's eyes turned cold. In an instant, countless gigantic swords descended from the sky, enveloping the body of the child of darkness as they slashed out in all directions. The long spears were all crushed. Qin Wentian stabbed out with his finger as he roared in rage, "Suppress!" As the sound of his voice faded, the black-colored gigantic sword of destruction pierced down with a heaven-shaking might. The child of darkness lifted his head and roared. Devilish might towered up into the sky as numerous devilish phantoms attacked him, yet they were all directly destroyed. However, when the gigantic sword that could suppress everything landed on him, the body of the child of darkness actually vanished, as though he had melded into the darkness. Qin Wentian took a step forward as the ancient halberd in his hand pierced out. It was akin to a heavenly rock that would slaughter everything in its path, tearing through the air in a certain direction. It was also akin to an incomparably gigantic palm imprint of divinity. With a thunderous boom, a silhouette appeared in the darkness and was directly flung through the air, coughing out fresh blood. It was none other than the child of darkness that had been hiding in the darkness. Qin Wentian seemed to have opened his heavenly eyes, able to see through all illusions. Stepping out, he was as fast as lightning, akin to a great rock as he stabbed out with his ancient halberd once again. Impudent! A roar of rage rang out. After that, Qin Wentian saw a gigantic palm imprint of darkness blotting out the sky. This palm imprint could crush the heavens and earth, unblockable. Qin Wentian's ancient halberd blasted out explosively, yet it was directly smashed into smithereens. The tyrannical palm imprint directly blasted him through the air. The force of the attack even penetrated into his body, shattering his bones. Poochie! Qin Wentian coughed out a mouthful of blood. When his feet landed on the ground, he staggered backward unstably. He stared ahead, only to see a terrifying might enveloping him. A powerful Devil King exuded towering law energy. His law domain could directly manifest a corporeal body. You actually want to kill the child of darkness of the Darkness Devil Hall? Kill him! That Devil King icily roared, lifting his palm imprint, preparing to kill Qin Wentian on the spot. Qin Wentian's expression kept changing. His gaze was extremely cold. At this moment, an expert appeared beside Qin Wentian. He pressed his palms together as an ancient devil manifested, blocking Qin Wentian's path. With a thunderous boom, sand and dust flew everywhere as a gust of wind ravaged the area. "How dare you!" That Devil King from the Darkness Devil Hall roared. "Turning your shame into anger after losing, you want to kill someone? Could it be that you think this will be able to wash away the humiliation of the child of darkness being defeated?" The Devil King from the myriad ancient Devil Hall coldly spoke. The person who lost to Qin Wentian earlier wasn't an ordinary disciple of the Devil Hall, but was the child of darkness. Ordinary disciples could be defeated, but if the child of darkness lost to Qin Wentian, the implications would be extremely profound. Hence, the Devil King protector of the child of darkness wanted to kill Qin Wentian in a hurry. The myriad ancient Devil Hall dares to interfere in the matters of my Darkness Devil Hall? That Devil King domineeringly stepped out, speaking in an overbearing manner. The Darkness Devil Hall has lost their bearing, only to see several experts from the myriad ancient Devil Hall stepping out. In addition, you guys can't represent the Darkness Devil Hall. Both sides clashed, actually showing signs of a stalemate. At this moment, a powerful aura gushed forth from afar, causing the gazes of everyone to freeze. Seems like the commotion here has attracted the attention of the Judiciary Devil Hall. The experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall swiftly arrived. The person in the lead had a cold expression on his face. He glanced at the surroundings before his gaze landed on the Child of Darkness and Qin Wentian. People from the Darkness Devil Hall and Myriad Ancient Devil Hall are having a conflict in front of the Saint Devil Hall. Return immediately. Child of Darkness, you are not allowed to enter the Saint Devil Hall for a year. That expert from the Judiciary Devil Hall coldly spoke. After that, he turned his gaze onto Qin Wentian. Wu Xiao of the Immortal Realms has nothing in his eyes, causing trouble outside the sacred ground of our Devil Mountain, and even wanting to kill the Child of Darkness of the Darkness Devil Hall. He should be judged. The eyes of the experts from the Darkness Devil Hall gleamed with coldness. Although the punishment for the Child of Darkness was a little heavy, it was true that he was no longer suitable to come to the Saint Devil Hall after this defeat. In addition, the Judiciary Devil Hall decided to punish Qin Wentian. After all, he was still someone from the Devil Mountain. They should know what to do. This judgment is unfair. The expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall spoke. You dare to question the judgment? That expert's eyes were extremely cold, staring at the expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. The judgment of the Devil Mountain should be personally judged by the Judiciary Priest. The expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall insisted. My decision is equivalent to the judgment of the Judiciary Priest. The countenance of the expert from the Judiciary Devil Hall was extremely cold. Qin Wentian stood there and coldly laughed. Even for a place like the Devil Mountain, there was no way he wouldn't be biased. Who asked him to be from the Immortal Realms? Chapter 1301. The Devil Mountain was the sacred ground of the Myriad Devil Islands. With regards to Wu Xiao who came from the Immortal Realms, they would naturally feel a sense of resistance. The countenance of the Child of Darkness was extremely unsightly to behold. As one of the 9 children of darkness in the Devil Foundation realm of the Darkness Devil Hall, he would be one of the future successors of the Darkness King. But today, outside the sacred ground, he actually lost to an Immortal Realm cultivator. He knew what sort of influence this would bring to him. His cold eyes stared at Qin Wentian, wanting nothing more than to devour him with darkness. Even if the Judiciary Devil Hall had already given their verdict, there were some things that could no longer be changed. Our Myriad Ancient Devil Hall naturally wouldn't question the judgment. However, the judgment this time is truly unfair. We want to see the Judiciary Devil Hall personally. An expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall coldly spoke. The Devil Mountain needed rules to exist, and the Judiciary Devil Hall was the place where the Myriad Devil Sovereign was in charge of the rules. Once a conflict erupted, the Judiciary Devil Hall would appear and their words would represent the judgment. Even the Devil Halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain had to obey the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. During the judgment, their will was the will of the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Fine. That expert from the Judiciary Devil Hall coldly glanced at the people from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. From afar, another group of people from the Judiciary Devil Hall was rushing over. A conflict erupted in the sacred ground, causing 2 Judiciary Devil Hall priests to rush here at the same time. Very good. That expert from the Judiciary Devil Hall coldly stared at the people from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. It has been a very long time since someone dared to cause a conflict here. That expert from the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall coldly snorted. Speaking of which, this conflict erupted because of the arrogance of the Child of Darkness. He felt that since Qin Wentian was a Wu Xiao from the Immortal Realms, he should be killed directly. He also felt that he would be able to kill Qin Wentian easily, but he didn't expect that he would be defeated, causing such a huge commotion. There were 7 priests in the Judiciary Devil Hall. Each of them had great authority and their cultivation bases were all different. However, all of them were successors of the Judiciary Devil Hall, and had hopes of wielding the scepter in the future. These 2 priests who just arrived were extremely conspicuous in the crowd. They were clad in long robes and were clad in blood-colored armor, exuding an incomparably imposing aura. Moreover, one of them was a male priest while the other was a female priest. The priestess was wearing the priestess uniform of the Judgment Priestess, which accentuated her slender figure. Her long hair draped over her shoulders, but the blood-red laurel crown on her head made people not dare to have any blasphemous thoughts towards her. The priestess of the Judiciary Palace was none other than the priestess Qin Wentian met before in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Also, she had once helped Qingcheng. Her face was still covered by a pointy mask, blocking all probing. Only her beautiful eyes shone with magnificence. "Greetings, High Priest." Those experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall bowed. The male priest walked out. His countenance was filled with coldness. He swept his gaze over the crowd as he asked, "Why are you causing trouble outside the sacred ground?" The Child of Darkness had a conflict with Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms. The Child of Darkness was defeated and Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms wanted to kill him. However, he was obstructed and injured by someone from the Darkness Devil Hall. This subordinate rules that the Child of Darkness as well as the experts from the Darkness Devil Hall are forbidden from entering the sacred ground for a year. This immortal Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms, although he ascended the Devil Mountain, he violated the rules of our Devil Mountain and should be executed. That person bowed as he spoke. "Since this is the case, we will follow your rules. Is there anyone who disagrees?" The voice of the priest was emotionless, as though he had already made a decision. The expressions of the experts from the myriad ancient Devil Hall turned extremely ugly. Although Qin Wentian was only a good friend of Bujia and had nothing to do with them, the founder of the myriad ancient Devil Hall did indeed come from the Immortal Realms. Hence, they weren't that stubborn when it came to immortals and devils. They felt that since they ascended the Devil Mountain, they should treat everyone equally. It's the Child of Darkness who said he wanted to kill this immortal expert from the Immortal Realms. This was why the Immortal Realms retaliated. If you want to execute him, shouldn't you punish him as well? The expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall continued. When did the people of the myriad ancient Devil Hall have the authority to judge? That young man glanced at the expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall as he coldly asked. Although the myriad ancient Devil Hall doesn't have the authority to judge, they have the responsibility to explain the course of events, so that the Judiciary Devil Hall can make a better judgment. At this moment, just when everyone thought that the dust had settled, a different voice rang out. This voice was cold, as though there were no emotions within. Everyone inclined their heads and glanced over. The person who spoke was actually the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall. Their eyes couldn't help but to flash. Could it be that the two priestesses had different opinions? "Tell us everything that happened." The priestess spoke. "Right." The expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall spoke. He pointed to Qin Wentian. "This man is Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms. However, since he ascended the Devil Mountain, it means that he has obtained the approval of the myriad Devil Sovereign. Along the way, he wanted to enter the Saint Devil Hall to take a look but was obstructed by the Child of Darkness. This Wu Xiu from the Immortal Realms was actually defeated in the end. In a fit of anger, this Immortal Realms Wu Xiu acted extremely heavily. As for whether he had killing intent or not, I temporarily don't know. However, the experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall obstructed him and directly injured Wu Xiu, wanting to kill him but was stopped by me. After that, the experts from the Judiciary Devil Hall arrived. This is the complete story. Is that so? The priestess turned her gaze to the crowd. Outside the Saint Devil Hall, under the radiance of the myriad Devil Sovereign, if anyone dares to lie before the Judiciary Devil Hall, they shall bear the consequences. No one responded. It was obvious that this was the gist of what had happened. Do you think we should overturn the earlier judgment? The priestess stared at the priest as she asked. Why should we overturn it? The Darkness Devil Hall is one of the Devil Halls that exists together with the Saint Devil Hall. Even if the Child of Darkness obstructed Wu Xiu from entering the Saint Devil Hall, it wouldn't be overboard. That priest stared at the priestess as he spoke. Clearly, it was impossible for him to overturn the judgment he made. As a priest of the Judiciary Devil Hall, we have to follow the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign. We have to forget everything else. Even with the identity of the Child of Darkness, it wouldn't affect the fairness of the judgment. This is the foundation of the Judiciary Devil Hall. Have you forgotten? The priestess coldly spoke, causing the expression of that priest to stiffen. He naturally understood the will of the Judiciary Devil Hall. However, one was the Child of the Darkness Devil Hall, while the other was the Immortal Realms Wu Xiu. When they made their judgment, how could they not take everything into consideration? It was just that he didn't expect that the priestess' opinion was completely different from his. What do you think the judgment should be? The priest asked. The child of darkness relied on his identity and went against the will of the myriad devil sovereign. His qualifications to enter the Saint Devil Hall will be revoked, and he will never be able to step half a step into the Saint Devil Hall. This immortal realm's Wuxiu passively resisted and is innocent. The Darkness Devil Hall acted when the child of darkness was defeated, wanting to kill Wuxiu, shielding his fellow sect members and going against the will of the myriad devil sovereign. The priestess' cold voice rang out, causing everyone to be shocked. Even the experts from the myriad ancient devil hall couldn't help but feel their hearts trembling as they stared at the priestess. Although such a judgment could be considered as iron-blooded justice, the person she wanted to judge was an expert from the Darkness Devil Hall as well as the Child of Darkness. Wasn't this a little too bold? If Qin Wentian was a cultivator of the Devil Mountain with a status equal to the Child of Darkness, such a judgment might have appeared. But he was Wu Xiu from the immortal realms. The priestess actually made such a judgment. The countenances of the Darkness Devil Hall and the Child of Darkness changed, becoming extremely cold. As one of the three supreme Devil Halls, the status of the Darkness Devil Hall was equal to the Judiciary Devil Hall. The Judiciary Priestess also had the same status as the Child of Darkness. However, at this moment this priestess actually dared to make such a judgment. You are truly impudent. The expression of the Child of Darkness was incomparably cold. The Judiciary Devil Hall was in charge of judgment. If the judgment was to take effect, he would be stripped of his chance to enter the Saint Devil Hall. In addition to his earlier defeat, his position as the Child of Darkness was already destined to be stripped away. As the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, I naturally have to follow the will of the myriad devil sovereign. When it comes to judgment, I won't shirk my responsibility. The priestess icily spoke. She stared at the priest as she spoke. If you have any objections to my judgment, we can return to the Judiciary Devil Hall to invite the Grand Priest. The eyes of the young man flashed. The status of the Grand Priest was transcendent. It was a position after the Judiciary Devil Hall was promoted. Only priests who have stepped into the Devil Emperor realm would have the qualifications to be promoted to the Grand Priest, and they would have a chance to sit on the judiciary throne. Since you insist on your judgment, I will voluntarily withdraw. You can make the final decision here. The eyes of the priest flickered as he retreated. His subordinates followed behind him. The eyes of everyone flashed. They instantly understood how sinister this man was. Even in a place like the Judiciary Devil Hall, there would still be competition. There were a total of 7 judiciary priests, but there were only 3 grand priests. Only one person could sit on the judiciary throne. This priest clearly wanted the priestess to offend the Darkness Devil Hall. Since this is the case, Judiciary, bring the Child of Darkness away and send him back to the Darkness Devil Hall. As for the Devil King who acted, he will have his cultivation crippled. The priestess coldly spoke. Her voice was so resolute that it could sever iron, causing the hearts of everyone here to tremble. You dare! The Child of Darkness roared in rage. That Devil King similarly erupted forth with terrifying devil might. As devil cultivators of the Devil Mountain, you guys should understand the consequences of disobeying the judgment. The priestess waved her hand as the experts behind her stepped out. The Child of Darkness naturally didn't want to obey and wanted to resist. However, with the Devil King acting, how could he resist? In just an instant he was directly captured. That Devil King was also enraged. 3 Devil Kings from the Judiciary Hall impolitely acted against him. When a judgment scepter pierced into his body, that Devil King screamed in agony, his voice shaking the heavens and earth, causing the hearts of everyone to tremble. The Judiciary Devil Hall was as expected of the coldest and coldest Devil Hall. In their eyes there was only judgment. Bai Qing, you will regret it if you dare to act against my Darkness Devil Hall. The Child of Darkness roared in rage. Chapter 1302. Bai Qing. The voice of the Child of Darkness was like thunder from a clear sky, ringing out in Qin Wentian's ears. His eyes abruptly turned in the direction of the Judiciary Priestess as great waves of shock rose up in his heart. How could he forget this name? How familiar was this name? Although Qin Wentian had already become a peak-level genius of the immortal realms, he would never be able to forget the purest days of his youth. How could he forget the young girl who liked to stick close to him, calling him Wentian Gij? Even after the Bai clan betrayed him and his fiancée became a reality, that pure and innocent young girl still stood by his side. Even after she became a devil cultivator, she still stood by his side. The judiciary priestess is that last Bai Qing? Qin Wentian's heart trembled. He walked towards the priestess, forgetting where he was and what kind of situation he was facing now. Given Qin Wentian's current cultivation base, he should have sufficient rationality to control the fluctuations in his heart. However, Bai Qing was simply too important to him. He had once tried to search for her in the particle world but to no avail. Now that he suddenly received news of her and she was standing right in front of him, how could he not be agitated? Even his rationality was tossed to the back of his mind. The judiciary priestess also stared at Qin Wentian. Her cold eyes flashed with a hint of panic, and this panic was coincidentally captured by Qin Wentian. "Little Last Bai, is it really you?" Qin Wentian's heart trembled as he called out. As the sound of his voice faded, the entire space turned silent again. Initially, everyone's attention was on the Child of Darkness. But at this moment, their gazes abruptly shifted to the judiciary priestess as well as Qin Wentian, who seemed to have lost control of his emotions. At this moment, Qin Wentian's eyes gleamed with heat, as though he was extremely agitated. "Little Last Bai?" On the Devil Mountain, only the Grand Priest of the Judiciary Devil Hall had the qualifications to refer to the judiciary priestess as Little Last Bai. An immortal realm expert, Wu Xiu, actually referred to the judiciary priestess as Little Last Bai. They seemed to know each other. The eyes of the crowd flickered. The panic in Bai Qing's eyes grew even more intense. Her beautiful eyes flickered, as though she wanted to evade. The judgment priestess is indeed impartial. At this moment Xie, who had been silent all this while, finally spoke. His gaze was incomparably cold. Back then in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, the priestess of the judiciary priestess had caused him to lose face to the extreme, and even caused the mission to fail. Now, he finally knew the reason why she acted. Back then in the Tiandao Sacred Academy, you brought people from the Judiciary Devil Hall to deal with me, who is also on the Devil Mountain. How could it be because of the judgment? To think that it was actually because you have a secret relationship with this man. Right now, on the Devil Mountain, you are reprimanding another priest for being biased while pretending to be impartial. Who would have thought that? Xie coldly laughed as he suddenly fell silent. The countenances of everyone here all changed. The Child of Darkness laughed uproariously. What a good judiciary priestess. So this is the case. For the sake of a secret relationship, you acted against the Darkness Devil Hall, crippling the cultivation base of a Devil King from my hall, and even chasing me away. Now the one who should be judged is you. The people around the priestess all frowned as they berated. Don't talk nonsense. The priestess has always been cultivating in the Judiciary Devil Hall. How could there be a secret relationship? As the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, she was not allowed to have any secret relationships. If not, her position as the priestess would have come to an end. As a judge, she had to abide by the will of the myriad devil sovereign. She mustn't allow any emotions to affect her judgment. The Child of Darkness used the word secret relationship to be extremely vicious. You already referred to her as Little Last Bai Qing. In addition to what Xie said, Bai Qing also acted to help this man in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Is there a need to be more obvious? The Child of Darkness reacted extremely quickly, coldly rebuking. Priestess. The gazes of those experts landed on the priestess. At this moment, the priestess' beautiful eyes were filled with emotions. She turned her head back and saw the face of anticipation on Qin Wentian's face. The priestess stretched her hand out, placing it before her mask. After that, she slowly pulled it off, revealing a breathtaking countenance, cold and noble. This was especially so when coupled with her attire as a priestess and the blood-colored crown on her head. She appeared incomparably noble, like the daughter of a devil god. However, when he saw this countenance, Qin Wentian's heart trembled even more violently. After that, a look of wild joy appeared in his eyes. Although the countenance before him had changed due to the passage of time, The pure and innocent countenance of the past had become noble and cold, adding a few hints of breathtaking beauty to it. But no matter how much time flowed, she was still her. In Qin Wentian's eyes he could still see that radiant and pure countenance of the past. But at this moment, the cold and lofty face in front of him suddenly changed. A radiant smile appeared on his face. In that instant, the scene in front of him overlapped with the scene in his memories. Qin Wentian also smiled. His smile was exceptionally radiant. "Wentian Gij." A melodious voice rang out from the priestess. Time seemed to have returned to the past, passing through time. The woman before him was no longer the cold and noble priestess but the young girl who liked to stick by his side, the innocent and beautiful little lass Bai Qing. As the sound of her voice faded, the countenances of the devil cultivators beside Bai Qing drastically changed. The eyes of the priest flashed with a smile. The eyes of the child of darkness and Emosia flashed with coldness. Yulong Shengtu was astonished. The experts from the myriad ancient devil hall were all shocked. As for the monk Bujia, he blinked his eyes. This fellow could even meet a lover on the Devil Mountain? Wasn't this too awesome? As one of the 3 supreme halls that protected the Saint Devil Hall, the priestess of the Judiciary Hall actually referred to Qin Wentian as Wentian Gij. From this, one could very well imagine the commotion caused by this on the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian smiled. Bai Qing was still his little lass Bai Qing, she hadn't changed at all. He didn't expect that back then in the Sacred Academy, the one who silently protected him, saving little rascal and Qingcheng, as well as blocking Huang Shatian for him, was actually Bai Qing. However, Qin Wentian was truly very happy. He always thought that something might have happened to Bai Qing, and that he would never be able to see her again. But now Bai Qing actually appeared in front of him alive and well. How could he not be happy? Judiciary priestess, very good. The cold voice of the child of darkness rang out once more. However, this didn't pull Qin Wentian back from the joy of seeing Bai Qing. He smiled and walked forward, staring at Bai Qing. "Little lass Bai Qing, why did you intentionally avoid me when we were in the Tiandao Sacred Academy?" "Wentian Gij." Bai Qing lowered her head, like a little girl who had done something wrong. She didn't know how to explain. "It's fine. Seeing that you are safe and sound, your Wentian Gij is already very satisfied." Qin Wentian smiled and walked forward. He stretched out his hand and rubbed Bai Qing's head, exuding a doting look. This scene caused everyone in the surroundings to be stunned, but Bai Qing herself didn't seem to have any objections. She merely inclined her head and pretended to be angry as she glared at Qin Wentian. After that, a radiant smile appeared on her face. So it turned out that reuniting with Wentian Gij could be so happy. After so many years, Wentian Gij still remembered her and was still so intimate with her. Since this was the case, she was already very satisfied. From afar, more and more experts rushed over. "What happened?" An expert from the Darkness Devil Hall coldly asked. A devil king of their Darkness Hall was actually punished by the Judiciary Priestess. The Child of Darkness was also captured. For personal reasons, the Judiciary Priestess protected Wuxiu from the immortal realms and crippled a devil king of my Darkness Hall, wanting me to never return to the Saint Devil Hall ever again. The Child of Darkness coldly spoke. Right now, he only wanted to blow up this matter to cover up his failure today. When all the spearheads were pointed at Bai Qing, he would have a chance to retreat unscathed. "Bai Qing, should you voluntarily relinquish your position as the Judiciary Priestess?" At this moment, even the priest stared at Bai Qing as he coldly spoke. How could he miss out on such an opportunity? Qin Wentian's expression changed. He didn't understand the Judiciary Devil Hall. Before this, he was too agitated when he heard Bai Qing's name and acknowledged her on the spot. Bai Qing also didn't hide anything. But from the looks of things now, his rash actions had caused Bai Qing to fall into an extremely unfavorable situation. Although I've long been acquainted with Wentian Gij, the judgment I made today was done in an open and above-board manner. What do you mean by that? You want me to relinquish my position as the priestess of the Judiciary Hall? Bai Qing's countenance instantly turned cold as she stared at the priest. In the blink of an eye, Bai Qing seemed to have changed into another person, transforming back into the cold and noble priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall. Her beautiful eyes turned to the Child of Darkness as she spoke. "You disobeyed the will of the myriad devil sovereign. obstructing those who ascended the Devil Mountain from entering the Saint Devil Hall and even tried to kill them. What's sad is that you were actually defeated. It's fine if you were defeated, but as the child of darkness, you actually don't know any shame, allowing the Devil Protector to act on your behalf, wanting to kill your opponent. I banished you from the Saint Devil Hall, not allowing you to enter the Saint Devil Hall ever again. What's wrong with this judgment? Where did you get the courage to spout nonsense here? The countenance of the child of darkness drastically changed. This Bai Qing was too ruthless. Most probably you aren't merely acquainted with this person, right? To be so intimate with him, he should be your lover, right? As a priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, you still dare to say that your judgment is fair? Qin Wentian coldly stared at the child of darkness when he heard the words of the child of darkness. I followed the will of the myriad devil sovereign all the way up the Devil Mountain, filled with respect and veneration for him. However, I was obstructed and made things difficult for me. This is the magnanimity of the Devil Mountain. Where is the respect and veneration the people of the Devil Mountain have for the myriad devil sovereign? As for you, you were incomparably arrogant earlier, but you are only able to stand here because you relied on the Devil Protector. If not, you would already be a dead man. Yet, you still dared to spout nonsense, slandering others to save yourself. How lamentable. The Darkness Devil Hall is one of the original 4 Devil Halls. It's truly a shame to have a child of darkness like you. Wu, from today onwards, you are no longer the child of darkness of the Darkness Devil Hall. At this moment, a voice drifted over from afar. It was incomparably calm, yet it felt like this was the judgment of the child of darkness. Chapter 1303. As the sound of her voice faded, the countenance of the child of darkness instantly turned pale. He inclined his head and saw a group of figures flying over. The person in the lead seemed to be shrouded in darkness. Although he was clearly in front of him, his features couldn't be seen clearly. This figure shrouded in darkness gave off an extremely dangerous feeling. His gaze landed on Bai Qing as he spoke. Wu has already been stripped of his position as a child of darkness. He will never be able to enter the Saint Devil Hall again. In addition, the Devil King of my Darkness Hall has already accepted his punishment. In that case, the judgment you have given is already completed. Many thanks for Senior's understanding. The Judiciary Priestess spoke. However, even if your judgment is fair, as a priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, you clearly are acquainted with this person, yet you didn't avoid arousing suspicion and made your judgment on the spot. In addition, you didn't publicize the truth. How should the Judiciary Devil Hall judge you? The figure in the darkness asked. Qin Wentian's expression changed. The Darkness Devil Hall was in existence on the same level as the Judiciary Devil Hall. They would naturally be unhappy if Bai Qing made her judgment. Even if they were major characters, they would still stand out. This was extremely disadvantageous to Bai Qing. And the acknowledgement of him and Bai Qing actually became a reason for the other party to target Bai Qing. This caused Qin Wentian to silently curse himself. Why was he so impulsive earlier? He shouldn't have acknowledged Bai Qing. At this moment, Qin Wentian calmed down a lot. But in that situation earlier, how could he still think so much? Also, for his sake, Bai Qing didn't lie and acknowledged him. If not, given Bai Qing's status in the Devil Mountain, she could directly deny it. But clearly, Bai Qing didn't have the heart to do so. Since the Devil Mountain has no place for Wu Xiao, I can leave the mountain now. Senior, as an expert of the Darkness Devil Hall, why must you make things difficult for a junior? Although I'm acquainted with Bai Qing, the judgment she made was in accordance with the will of the myriad devil sovereign. What wrong did she do? Qin Wentian spoke. By saying that you want to leave the Devil Mountain now, are you trying to show that my Devil Mountain Devil Hall doesn't have the magnanimity to tolerate you? That dark figure stared at Qin Wentian Wu. He was arrogant and conceited, yet he was defeated by you. This is his fault. Since you ascended the Devil Mountain, you can naturally enter the Saint Devil Hall. My Darkness Devil Hall won't make things difficult for you because of this. You can enter the Saint Devil Hall anytime you want. This seat didn't say that there was a problem with Bai Qing's judgment. It's just that she made the judgment under the circumstances where you are acquainted with her. Bai Qing, you will be locked up in the Blood Devil Cliff for 3 years. Within these 3 years, you are not allowed to exit. From afar, an imposing voice drifted over. Bai Qing's eyes flickered as she stared in that direction, nodding her head. Yes, Grand Priest. There wasn't much fluctuation in her beautiful eyes, as if the imprisonment of the Blood Demon Cliff wasn't a big deal to her. However, the expressions of the Demon King protectors changed. They knew very well what kind of place the Blood Demon Cliff was. Since the High Priest has made his decision, this matter shall end here. Wu, go back. The dark figure spoke. After that, his silhouette flickered as he melded into the darkness, directly vanishing from sight. Many people felt shock in their hearts. They didn't expect that this matter would actually involve the Darkness Devil Lord and the Grand Priest. The people in the surroundings cast a deep glance at Qin Wentian, feeling somewhat taken aback. A Wu Xiao from the Immortal Realms actually had such a deep relationship with the Judiciary Priestess. From their expressions, they seemed to be extremely close. The Child of Darkness left with the people of the Darkness Devil Hall. Bai Qing's beautiful eyes landed on Qin Wentian as she spoke in a gentle voice. Wentian Gige, I didn't expect you to come to the Devil Mountain. This Saint Devil Hall is the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, a place formed from the will of the myriad Devil Sovereign. After you enter, you have to comprehend it well. Bai Qing won't have a chance to meet with Wentian Gige. Little Lass Bai, what sort of place is the Blood Devil Cliff? Qin Wentian's countenance changed as he asked. The Blood Devil Cliff is just an ordinary place for closed-door seclusion. Wentian Gige, you don't have to worry about me. Bai Qing still had a gentle smile on her face. Wentian Gige, I'm leaving first. You have to be careful. After speaking, Bai Qing flew towards the direction of the Judiciary Devil Hall. The person who came with her coldly glanced at Qin Wentian, as though he was very unhappy with Qin Wentian. Little Lass Bai Qing, I will stay on the Devil Mountain for 3 years. Qin Wentian stared at Bai Qing as he spoke. Bai Qing's body trembled slightly. Her silhouette flickered as she continued on her way. Her beautiful eyes flickered with gentleness. When she saw Qin Wentian, wasn't she also filled with joy in her heart? It was just that she had been suppressing her emotions until Qin Wentian heard the Child of Darkness calling out her name. Qin Wentian instantly lost control. Actually, she didn't need to acknowledge Qin Wentian, but at that time, her emotions also won over her rationality. She really wanted to let Qin Wentian Gige see her. As her silhouette gradually left, Bai Qing walked towards the Judiciary Devil Hall step by step. Her countenance suddenly turned cold as a cold intent radiated from her. She once again transformed into the dignified and noble priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, not allowing anyone to profane her. Qin Wentian stared at Bai Qing's disappearing back view. His gaze then turned to the expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall as he asked, Senior, what sort of place is the Blood Devil Cliff? Although Bai Qing spoke in a relaxed manner, Qin Wentian wouldn't be so naive to believe her words. Even if it was an extremely dangerous place, she wouldn't tell him because she was afraid that he would be worried. And as expected, the expression of that expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall changed. He then spoke in a light voice. The Blood Devil Cliff is an extremely dangerous place. The priestess treats you very well. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. As expected, as the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Hall, Bai Qing gave the order, causing a Devil King from the Darkness Hall to have his cultivation base crippled and a Child of Darkness crippled. Even a supreme expert from the Darkness Hall personally came here to punish her. If the Grand Priestess's punishment for Bai Qing was too light, how would that expert from the Darkness Hall let this matter rest? Time flowed by. In the blink of an eye 100 years had passed. He and Bai Qing met again in the sacred ground of the myriad Devil Islands. Everything was the same as before, with no barriers between them at all. Bai Qing was still the pure and innocent young lady who liked to follow behind him. It was like nothing had changed at all. Naturally, it was only towards him. Many thanks, Senior. Qin Wentian smiled. No matter what, he finally got news of Bai Qing and knew that she was doing well. Turning about, Qin Wentian walked towards the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, the Saint Devil Hall. This Devil Hall was established by the myriad Devil Sovereign, the supreme sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. The Child of Darkness didn't allow him to enter, but before Bai Qing left, she intentionally reminded him to comprehend the Saint Devil Hall properly. The first-generation leader of the myriad ancient Devil Hall only established the myriad ancient Devil Hall after he entered the Saint Devil Hall. In that case, he definitely had to take a good look at this devil hall. Emosia, Yulong Shengtu and the others stared at the back view of Qin Wentian. This fellow was truly lucky. Even the Darkness Devil Sovereign appeared and the priestess of the Judiciary Devil Sovereign bore the wrath of the Devil Sovereign for him. Yet he was still safe and sound. Qin Wentian, you are actually able to enter the Saint Devil Hall to cultivate with such a peace of mind? Back then, if it wasn't for the Judiciary Priestess, your demonic beasts would have long been devoured by me. And your woman would have encountered danger as well. Also for you, if it wasn't for the priestess constantly sending people to restrict Huang Tian, you and your people would have long since died in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Emosia's voice rang out, as though he wanted to stir up the devil in Qin Wentian's heart. However, Qin Wentian continued walking forward, ignoring Emosia. Earlier, the Judiciary Priestess suffered the punishment of the Grand Priest for your sake. The Blood Devil Cliff is a place of death with 9 out of 10 chances of survival. After 3 years of confinement, I'm afraid you won't be able to see her again. Given your personality, shouldn't you be heading to the Judiciary Devil Hall to ask for her? Emosia continued to tempt him. Qin Wentian knew of Emosia's methods. He knew that Emosia was intentionally trying to shake his heart. This Emosia had always been unscrupulous in order to achieve his goals. Don't listen to his nonsense. Although the Blood Devil Cliff is dangerous, the Judiciary Priestess naturally has the strength to protect herself. An expert from the myriad ancient Devil Hall spoke. They didn't wish for Qin Wentian's heart to be shaken when he entered the Saint Devil Hall. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath. He implicated Bai Qing for 2 reasons. Firstly, he wasn't clear about the rules of the Devil Mountain. Secondly, he was too agitated after hearing the news of Bai Qing, causing him to lose his rationality. Now, things have already been decided. There was no use regretting. In that case, he could only do his best to change the ending. To Qin Wentian, the only hope he had to change the situation was the Saint Devil Hall. Lifting his foot, his gaze was incomparably resolute as he stepped into the dilapidated hall. This scene caused Emosia's expression to turn extremely unsightly. He was very clear about Qin Wentian's talent. Regardless of the City of Ancient Emperors or the Tiandao Sacred Academy, he had displayed shocking talent. In addition, he even passed the will test set by the Myriad Devil Sovereign and ascended the Devil Mountain. Emosia really didn't wish for Qin Wentian to enter the Saint Devil Hall. However, those lofty characters wouldn't act to stop him. He had no way to do so as well. He could only watch on as Qin Wentian stepped into the Saint Devil Hall. Those cultivators in the Saint Devil Hall all maintained their original movements. No matter what happened outside, they wouldn't be affected at all. Qin Wentian soon understood why. At the instant he stepped into the Saint Devil Hall, with him at the center, countless lines of law appeared in the surroundings, like the law of the great Tao descending, frenziedly interweaving, binding his body, causing him to be unable to move. Qin Wentian wanted to move, but he discovered that he couldn't. With just a single step, he was already bound by the law of the Saint Devil Hall. The people outside didn't feel surprised. They knew what sort of place the Saint Devil Hall was. This was the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. The Saint Devil Hall in Qin Wentian's eyes changed. It was no longer a dilapidated Devil Hall. This dilapidated Devil Hall actually contained the perfect law energy of the Great Tao. It was as resplendent and dazzling as it could be. If he couldn't comprehend this law energy, he wouldn't be able to take a single step forward and would forever be stuck at the first step. How can it be so easy to enter the Saint Devil Hall? You will know how terrifying the sacred ground is. Yulong Shengtu coldly spoke. He had never stepped into the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain before. He didn't dare to try. The prestige of the sacred ground was sufficient to scare away the strongest geniuses at the peak. Chapter 1304. Qin Wentian naturally wouldn't know what Yulong Shengtu was thinking in his heart. Right now he was already immersed in the world before his eyes. Countless lines of law energy transformed into runes of the Great Tao. Every line of runes would give birth to different types of energy, and from there different innate techniques could be unleashed. This was the Tao of heaven and earth. The Tao of divine inscriptions was born from this. When Qin Wentian was in the particle world, he had once researched divine inscriptions. At that time he had already discovered that divine inscriptions and innate techniques could be interlinked. The myriad of inscriptions were interlinked, and as he got closer and closer to the essence of energy, he would discover how miraculous it was. As for immortals and devils, there was no difference at all. Qin Wentian already had a deep understanding of this point when he ascended the Devil Mountain. He quietly closed his eyes and released his immortal sense. Everything in the surroundings appeared in his mind, incomparably clear. The streams of law energy transformed into divine inscriptions and innate techniques, binding his body. In the entire Great Hall, boundless law energy interweaved, transforming unceasingly, generating all sorts of energies. Many of these energies contain terrifying destructive might. If one was careless and came into contact with these destructive energies, they might even die here. And because of this, even for some peak-level geniuses like Yulong Shengtu, they didn't dare to casually step into the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. On the Devil Mountain, everyone knew about the Saint Devil Hall. They also knew what the Saint Devil Hall could bring them. In fact, they also knew why the 6 Devil Halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain were able to stand tall without collapsing. They were the protectors of the Saint Devil Hall, but their power also originated from the Saint Devil Hall. In the Supreme Devil Hall where the myriad Devil Sovereign resided, law energy flowed from Qin Wentian, gradually seeping into the laws of the Devil Hall, clashing with them. After that, the spectators in the outside world only saw Qin Wentian moving. His movements were very slow. He lifted his foot and took a step forward. A destructive attack blasted over. Qin Wentian dodged to the side, barely dodging that powerful attack. His movements were extremely coordinated, as if he was very lucky. However, only Qin Wentian himself knew that if he did not have a sufficient understanding of the nomological power inside, he would not have been so lucky. Although it was just a simple step, it caused the eyes of the people outside to narrow. Yulong Shengtu even had a cold light in his eyes. This fellow actually took a step out of the Saint Devil Hall? In the Saint Devil Hall, not a single step was easy. What a lucky fellow. Yulong Shengtu coldly spoke. That terrifying beam of light earlier was actually unable to kill him. Was it really just luck? Within the Saint Devil Hall, Qin Wentian took another step out a moment later. Although his movements were still very slow, the Saint Devil Hall was no longer able to restrict his movements. This scene caused Yulong Shengtu's expression to change. Qin Wentian continued walking forward. In fact, he had already surpassed a person in the Saint Devil Hall and was now ahead of him. The eyes of many people outside gleamed sharply. Some of the earlier disdain on the faces of some devil cultivators turned heavy. The personality of the Child of Darkness was tyrannical. He didn't allow Qin Wentian to enter the Saint Devil Hall, feeling that it was a form of blasphemy to the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. Although the others weren't as tyrannical as the Child of Darkness, they also felt unhappy in their hearts. But since the Darkness Devil Lord who came later didn't say anything and allowed Qin Wentian to enter the Saint Devil Hall, there was nothing they could do to stop him. But even so, these devil cultivators didn't really mind. From their point of view, a mere wuxiu from the immortal realms, even if he entered their sacred ground, he would still be in a miserable state. How would he be able to enter the Saint Devil Hall? But at this moment their confidence seemed to have wavered. Very few people could be like Qin Wentian, advancing forward the first time he entered the Saint Devil Hall. Even though it was extremely difficult for him to move, he still chose to advance. Little did they know that in here, there were many people who could stay here for several months at a time. But for Qin Wentian, although he was only at the starting phase, at the very least, his starting phase was extremely perfect. It can't be that he really entered the depths of the sacred ground, right? Many people had a ridiculous thought. If this was really the case, leaving aside the fact that an immortal wuxiu managed to enter the depths of the Saint Devil Hall, leaving aside the fact that they, the disciples of the Devil Mountain, would have any face left? If there was another character like the founder of the myriad ancient Devil Hall, would this Devil Mountain still be the Devil Mountain for devil cultivators? However, such a thought flashed by in an instant. This was just the beginning. The founder of the myriad ancient Devil Hall was able to establish a Devil Hall. He must definitely be a character that could shake the past and present. How could he be someone who could stand shoulder to shoulder with others? Qin Wentian gradually entered the depths of the Saint Devil Hall. After avoiding the law energy, He saw a devil pillar before him. It was extremely terrifying, containing boundless devil law energy. All of a sudden, the figure of a devil lord appeared on top of the devil pillar as a fearsome will directly pierced into Qin Wentian's mind. Boom! This will was tyrannical to the extreme, like a devil lord staring at Qin Wentian, wanting to destroy his will. Rumble, rumble. Qin Wentian's aura involuntarily erupted forth. However, the attack of his will had nothing to do with the strength of his physical body. This was merely Qin Wentian's instinctive reaction. He involuntarily retreated a few steps. Swishing sounds rang out as an extremely dangerous aura bore down on him. Qin Wentian diverted a portion of his attention and did his best to evade. That attack slashed past his shoulder, causing a stream of blood to flow out, as well as an excruciating pain. However, Qin Wentian didn't have the time to care about that kind of pain. The terrifying will was the tyrannical will of a sky devil. In his mind there was a devil lord staring down at him from above, unceasingly launching attacks at him, wanting to destroy his will. The attacks were like bolts of unexcelled lightning, containing boundless might and terrifying to the extreme. Qin Wentian's will took on a corporeal form in his sea of consciousness, manifesting a terrifying god's hand that blasted out, blotting out the skies, wanting to destroy the will that was invading his sea of consciousness. However, he only saw the will gushing into his mind unceasingly. The devil king in his sea of consciousness was like a devil god. Numerous bolts of darkness and devilish lightning blasted out, shattering the palm imprints, wanting to destroy everything. A scene of doomsday appeared in Qin Wentian's mind. The heavenly devils were tyrannical. The devil tribulation churned wildly. This place was like a devil domain, crushing everything. This caused Qin Wentian to feel as though his head was about to explode. The pain was incomparable, and he almost wanted to give up. Saint Devil Hall. A thought appeared in Qin Wentian's mind. When he thought of Bai Qing being brought to the Blood Devil Cliff, his will grew even more resolute. A supreme greater demon manifested in his will, a divine dragon soaring in the air, a vermilion bird letting out a long cry, a divine elephant suppressing the sky, a great rock slashing through the air. Numerous resplendent diagrams appeared in his will, causing the heavens and earth to tremble unceasingly. However, at this moment, there seemed to be a devil law enveloping him, preventing him from being corroded by the other attacks. Qin Wentian groaned unceasingly as he coughed out blood. His countenance turned pale, but he gritted his teeth and persisted. The clash of wills in his mind grew more and more terrifying. That devil lord stared at him, howling in rage, telling him to give up resisting. But how could Qin Wentian give up? He continued to frenziedly fight and finally, his strength destroyed that will. When he opened his eyes, a resplendent light flashed past. He stared at the towering devil pillar before him as his heart trembled. Was this place the Saint Devil Hall? As expected of the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, it was actually so difficult to advance. He closed his eyes and quietly cultivated. Right now he was in a daze. If he continued to advance, he would most likely die. He finally understood why so many people who entered the Saint Devil Hall had chosen to remain at their original location. This Saint Devil Hall was filled with danger. This time around he has no way to advance, right? In the outside world, Yulong Shangtu's expression was cold as he spoke. Qin Wentian, who was inside, finally stopped. Clearly, he was obstructed by the attack of the devil pillar. This time around, Qin Wentian paused for a long time. Just when many people felt that it would be difficult for him to advance, he lifted his foot again and moved deeper into the depths of the Saint Devil Hall. Interesting. Monk Bujia laughed. This fellow caused such a huge commotion in the Tiandao Sacred Academy. Now that he came to the Devil Mountain, it seemed that he wanted to leave a deep impression on the peak geniuses of the myriad Devil Islands. Qin Wentian directly walked past the stone pillar and continued forward. After passing through danger after danger, he had already surpassed several experts who remained in the Saint Devil Hall. In fact, he passed through quite a few devil pillars, and each of them contained a powerful devil energy. Only until he encountered another extremely terrifying will attack did his footsteps halt here. This time around, the attack was from an incomparably terrifying existence like the Imperial Dragon Devil God. This devil god stared down at the world with disdain, and was riding on a gigantic dragon of darkness that blotted out the sun. Every time he attacked, a devil dragon would descend, wanting to destroy everything, wanting to devour everything. When the terrifying devil dragon of darkness opened its abyss-like mouth, Qin Wentian felt that his will was about to collapse, completely devoured. If his will was destroyed, Qin Wentian had no way to predict what terrifying consequences would occur. For the first time, that devil god was like a heavenly devil, unleashing the might of a devil calamity. This time around, the devil god sitting on the devil dragon of darkness stared down at everything with disdain. This caused Qin Wentian to think of the Sky Devil Hall and the Imperial Dragon Devil Hall, the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. This Saint Devil Hall seemed to contain the power of several devil mountains at the peak of the Devil Mountain. This made Qin Wentian feel that if he could truly peer into the secrets of this Saint Devil Hall, he might even have a chance to see the 6 devil halls clearly. Back then, the myriad ancient devil hall was also established like this, right? Qin Wentian's heart was filled with a fearsome battle intent. Within his will, the demonic divinity manifested. The 8 demonic divinities revolved around him, unceasingly blocking the incoming attacks. Chapter 1305. With the glory of this victory, Wu Xiu acted the same way as Qin Wentian back then, domineeringly stepping into the Saint Devil Hall. Qin Wentian stood there. His steps seemed a little unsteady. However, his will was resolute, allowing the fearsome wills to rush into his mind. Even when his will to resist was destroyed, he still guarded his will, not dissipating. It was like he was using the remnant will of his will to protect himself from destruction. Such an attack was too terrifying. At the end, devil might actually gushed forth from Qin Wentian involuntarily, faintly fusing with the energy in his body. The energy erupting forth from him contained the aura of a devil. This dilapidated devil hall was the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, the Saint Hall. Finally, Qin Wentian arrived at the end of this devil hall. Qin Wentian knew that what he was experiencing now was the test of the Saint Devil Hall, and this sacred ground of the Devil Mountain would surely have a core area. In fact, he might even have a chance to see the inheritance power of the 6 devil halls here. At the peak of the Devil Mountain before the Saint Devil Hall, there would still be people coming here every day. Day after day, year after year. That last Bai Qing was still waiting for him at the Blood Devil Cliff. He definitely had to do some things in this Saint Devil Hall. This resolute conviction of his pushed him forward. Even though he almost fell into darkness, he still didn't give up. Before this, when Qin Wentian entered the Saint Devil Hall from the outside, he saw that the attitudes of the other experts were different. But now he wanted to test them one by one. Only then did he understand why these people were like this. Just like what Qin Wentian had predicted, he finally arrived before another devil pillar that had the attribute of one of the 6 devil halls. This time around, when the terrifying will of the Devil King rushed into his mind, Qin Wentian discovered that it was the will of an ancient devil. Also, it was able to summon an ancient devil. When the will of thousands of ancient devils rushed into his mind, Qin Wentian's will was basically unable to endure it. However, Qin Wentian's figure gradually vanished from the vision of Yulong Shangtu and the others. He walked towards the depths of this dilapidated devil hall, entering a place unknown to them, a place they had never been to before. Phew! Qin Wentian, who was lying there, let out a long sigh. His face was a little pale. Even at this moment, there was still a powerful demonic will lingering in his mind, as if he could not get rid of it. In the depths of his eyes, there was even a flash of black demonic light. Luckily, the attack of the will wasn't without an end. Eventually, it dissipated and stopped. Only then did Qin Wentian heave a sigh of relief. He felt his entire body going limp, his legs unsteady as he slumped onto the ground. The people who came from the immortal realms were actually all-powerful to this extent? But this time around, although the people were different, their experiences were strangely familiar. This time around, the immortal realm cultivator who ascended the Devil Mountain didn't speak too much and directly swept through everything, fighting his way up the mountain. Everywhere he passed by, there was no one who could obstruct his footsteps. The good show is over, time to return. Bujia stretched his back lazily. To cultivators at their level, time was very long. Hence, they could continue to observe Qin Wentian from here. But now they could no longer see Qin Wentian. It was time for them to leave as well. This fellow surpassed all the geniuses of the Devil Mountain, advancing deeper and deeper into the Devil Mountain, leaving everyone behind him. If this continues, will he still be able to hold on? Qin Wentian sighed. Powerful comprehension ability, supreme will, both had to reach an extreme. Could it be that only then would he be able to enter the core area of the Saint Devil Hall? All the storms in the outside world had nothing to do with Qin Wentian. He who was in the Saint Devil Hall had no time to care about what was happening outside. He couldn't even take care of himself. When did the immortal realms become so powerful? To their Devil Mountain, this was simply doomsday. In fact, Wu Yin, who was stripped of her position as the Child of Darkness, came here with jealousy and hatred towards Qin Wentian, obstructing those who entered the Devil Mountain. But what was incomparably shocking was that this time around, the Child of Darkness was defeated once again. Not only did he fail to obstruct his opponent, he was even injured, shocking the entire Devil Mountain. Closing his eyes, Qin Wentian had no distractions in his heart. He rested once more. This time around, he rested for an even longer period of time before continuing on his journey. Some people are really good at mocking others. Now their faces are truly unsightly. Bujia swaggered out of this place. That arrogant manner of his made it seem like the person who entered the Saint Devil Hall was him. Even though there were only a few steps left, Qin Wentian still walked very slowly and stably. He arrived at the end of the path and pushed open the Devil Gate. After that, he lifted his foot and stepped into it. His body directly vanished into thin air. This time around, after resting for a long period of time, Qin Wentian continued on his way. His steps were even slower and more stable. The dilapidated Devil Hall transformed into the Great Dao Devil Hall. Qin Wentian continued on, feeling the profoundness of this place. Every step was incomparably difficult and every step was a test. As long as he made a single mistake, all his previous efforts would be wasted. He didn't dare to be careless at all. After that, he experienced the test of the Apostle Devil Hall and even the Judiciary Devil Hall. When the will of the Judiciary Devil Lord tried to corrode him, there was basically no way for him to block it. His will, which had been tortured countless times, was already riddled with holes, incomparably ancient, felt like it could easily shatter. His guess was verified step by step. After all, he still experienced the Devil Pillar energy from the other Devil Halls. In the Darkness Devil Hall, his entire person was devoured by the Devil Lord of Darkness, turning into nothingness. His will also sank into nothingness, about to dissipate at any moment. However, his heart was resolute and his supreme will allowed him to resist the corrosion of the strongest external forces. Even when the darkness enveloped him, he still managed to endure it. He didn't retreat and continued on his way. Hence, those devil cultivators felt even more resentful towards Wu Xiao. This time around, when they saw another immortal realm Wu Xiao arriving, countless experts rushed over to obstruct him, wanting to stop him from ascending to the peak. Before this, Qin Wentian had already caused quite a commotion. The experts on both sides of the path obstructed Qin Wentian, but they were still blasted all the way to the peak by him. At the end of the dilapidated Devil Hall, there seemed to be a gate that led to another dimension. Qin Wentian drew in a deep breath. Has he finally arrived? That place was the place he wanted to head to. His feelings seemed to have come true. For a very long period of time after that, more and more immortal realm Wu Xiao ascended the Devil Mountain. Every immortal realm Wu Xiao who ascended the Devil Mountain had outstanding talent, causing a huge commotion on the Devil Mountain. This time around, Qin Wentian's will was broken, but he didn't crumble. His powerful will protected his will, allowing the boundless devil will to invade his mind, frenziedly sweeping through it. His body trembled unceasingly, as though he was on the verge of collapse, about to collapse at any moment. Today, another person ascended the Devil Mountain. If it was just this, there wouldn't be anything strange. After all, there would often be people who passed the test of the myriad Devil Sovereign. But this time around, the person who ascended the Devil Mountain was still an immortal realm Wu Xiao. After clashing time and time again, Qin Wentian finally managed to block the will of the Devil God Shadow that was controlling the Devil Dragon of Darkness. After enduring such terrifying will attacks twice, in addition to the fact that he had to traverse the Devil Hall, Qin Wentian felt extremely fatigued. He closed his eyes and directly sat down cross-legged to cultivate. Although the Child of Darkness couldn't be considered the strongest genius on the Devil Mountain, he was still one of the top characters with outstanding talent. However, he was actually defeated twice by people from different immortal realms. The test seemed to have no end. The further one went, the harder it would be. Every step was as difficult as ascending the heavens. Let's go. The experts of the myriad ancient Devil Hall nodded, their eyes gleaming with sharpness. This fellow Bujia's talent was extremely outstanding, and he was proficient in all arts of the Buddhist path. Hence, he also had an extremely high comprehension ability when it came to the devil path arts of the myriad ancient Devil Hall. Such talent was enough for the myriad ancient Devil Hall to nurture him as their successor. Right now, they didn't expect that a good friend of Bujia who came from the immortal realms would actually be so outstanding as well, instantly killing Yulong Shangtu, the Child of Darkness, and the other peak geniuses of the Devil Mountain. This was too shocking, simply toppling their way of thinking. But precisely because of this will that could shatter at any moment, there was an undying will that urged him forward. Even the Judgment Devil Hall wouldn't be able to kill him. This also attracted the attention of the peak geniuses of the Devil Mountain. In front of the Saint Devil Hall, another incomparably powerful clash occurred. Another Child of Darkness fought against the second immortal cultivator, who ascended the Devil Mountain. Their battle could be said to be heaven-shaking and incomparably violent, causing everyone to feel their hearts trembling. But in the end, the immortal cultivator was still the victor. The sacred ground of the Devil Mountain, the deeper you go, the more dangerous it is. This is just the beginning. If you are lucky enough, you might be able to come out alive. Yulong Shangtu coldly stared at the depths of the Saint Devil Hall, as though he was unwilling to admit it. After speaking, he turned and departed. This caused everyone to feel that the Devil Mountain wasn't peaceful at all. Something major was about to happen. Other than this, everyone discovered an interesting phenomenon. For those geniuses of the immortal realms who came to the Devil Mountain, there seemed to be something wrong with them. A few battles actually erupted on the Devil Mountain, causing everyone to be puzzled. Chapter 1306. After stepping through the gate, Qin Wentian entered another dimension. He stared at everything before him. There was no longer any pressure from before. Instantly, his heart and soul relaxed as he drew in a deep breath, feeling extremely comfortable. The journey earlier was too difficult and he was extremely exhausted. But now in this vast space, there were ancient halls and the air was exceptionally fresh. It was like this was an otherworldly place, not a place for devil cultivators at all. Is this the place where the myriad devil sovereign resided? Qin Wentian silently mused. His silhouette flickered as he flew forward. Numerous ancient halls exuded an ancient aura. Qin Wentian slowly walked forward and entered an ancient hall. There was naturally no one here, but there were many jade slips within the hall. It was as though the collection was extremely rich. He walked to the front of the jade slips and stared at the ancient words below. After that, his will sank into them as the information recorded in the jade slips flowed into his mind. There were many cultivation arts and techniques of the devil path, as well as many things that happened in the past. However, these were all from the devil path and didn't belong to the myriad devil sovereign. In this vast space there were many ancient devil halls. Clearly, the myriad devil sovereign wasn't the only one who resided here in the past. After looking at it for a long time, he left the ancient palace and went to another place. Soon he found a special feature. He could look at it, but it was enveloped by a powerful and mystical rule power. He couldn't take it away. Even if there was a treasure trove here, he can forget about taking anything away. As for the second discovery, it caused Qin Wentian's heart to tremble. Within this ancient hall, not only were there devil path cultivation arts and techniques, there were also immortal arts and innate techniques. Different devil halls had different collections, but it could truly be said that they contained everything in the world. This place is a treasure trove. Qin Wentian sighed deeply. After passing through that dilapidated Saint Devil Hall and entering this place, most probably, only then did he truly step into the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain. Maybe only this place could be called the Devil Mountain. Most probably without 100 years of time, There was no way to completely digest all the treasures here, let alone cultivate. As for Qin Wentian, he didn't have that much time. Moreover, the power he cultivated was already strong enough, and he even cultivated a powerful unique skill. Ordinary cultivation methods and supernatural powers were nothing to him. He continued forward, passing by many palaces. All of a sudden, his expression changed. After that, he soared up into the air, and when he reached an extremely high altitude, he lowered his head and stared downwards. At this instant, his eyes gleamed with sharpness. So it turned out that the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain was actually an ancient city. Every ancient palace here could have been the residence of an expert in the past. Qin Wentian's figure flickered as he headed toward the front of the city. There were too many palaces here. If he were to look at them one by one, there would be no end to them. He could only go to the most central area. After walking for a long time, he finally saw 9 majestic-looking devil palaces. They seemed to be supreme ancient palaces. 9. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. There were actually 9 devil palaces here? Why weren't there 7? At the peak of the Devil Mountain, including the Saint Devil Hall, there were a total of 7 devil halls. But here there were actually 2 more. What made Qin Wentian even more shocked was that the terrain here was somewhat similar to the peak of the Devil Mountain. Could it be that the Devil Mountain has always lacked 2 devil halls? Qin Wentian suddenly had a bold guess. It was said that at the very beginning, other than the Saint Devil Hall, there were only the Judiciary Devil Hall, Darkness Devil Hall and Apostle Devil Hall. The other 3 devil halls were only born after that. The myriad ancient devil hall had a clear history. It was an immortal realm expert named Wu Xiao who entered the sacred ground and paved the way for the myriad ancient devil hall. If this was the case, could Qin Wentian guess that there were still 2 more devil halls in this sacred ground that had yet to find their inheritors? Hence, these 2 devil halls didn't exist on the peak of the Devil Mountain. Qin Wentian's silhouette flashed as he flew towards one of the devil halls. This devil hall exuded a majestic aura, exuding boundless devil might, terrifying to the extreme. If Qin Wentian didn't guess wrongly, this devil hall should be the Sky Devil Hall at the peak of the Devil Mountain. His body soon arrived above the devil hall, but at this moment, his expression abruptly changed. A terrifying might abruptly manifested, enveloping this devil hall with boundless sky devil might. Boundless law energy radiated forth, blasting into Qin Wentian, causing him to be flung through the air. Qin Wentian groaned in misery as he coughed out a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with fear as he stared at the boundless might below. He continued to retreat, as though he was worried that the terrifying attack might appear again. But very swiftly, the fluctuations gradually weakened, as though they wouldn't erupt out on their own. This devil hall was actually protected by a powerful energy. It was different from the other devil halls before. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed, searching for the source of this energy. His eyes shifted and finally landed on the devil hall. Over there was an incomparably terrifying sky devil saber. This devil blade was like a world-shocking divine weapon, and it contained boundless heavenly devil tribulation energy. It seemed as if every single strand of energy that effused out from it contained world-shaking destructive might. If it were to erupt completely, then it would be sufficient to annihilate fiend gods, and it possessed divine might capable of annihilating everything. Devil divine weapon. Qin Wentian's eyes flashed. He glanced over and saw that before the 9 devil halls, there were actually divine weapons everywhere. That incomparably imposing blood-colored devil hall should be the Judiciary Devil Hall. There was a scepter there that symbolized supreme authority. With the scepter in one's hand, one would be able to become the Judiciary King. In front of a dragon hall that exuded terrifying demonic chi, there was an Imperial Dragon Devil Hall. At the front, a dragon whip could be seen. This whip was actually in the shape of a dragon and was extremely vivid and lifelike, resembling an incomparably terrifying devil dragon of darkness. If one lifted this whip, they would be able to control all demonic dragons. There was another devil hall that was like a shadow, enveloped in darkness. Qin Wentian guessed that this devil hall might be the Darkness Devil Hall. Outside this devil hall, there was a gigantic plate of darkness that resembled a bowl of darkness. The interior was incomparably deep, filled with boundless darkness, like a black hole. This was extremely similar to the energy the Child of Darkness unleashed when he was fighting against Qin Wentian. The darkness devoured everything, wanting to cause this entire space to sink into a black hole. Each of the 9 devil halls was the same. Qin Wentian glanced at them one by one as his heart trembled. He was thinking, how could he break through that terrifying defensive power and enter the devil hall? Could it be that by entering the devil hall of this sacred ground, he would obtain the inheritance? In the past, did the founder of the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall enter this place and enter the hall that symbolized the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall? From there he created a new era, creating the Myriad Ancient Devil Hall. Qin Wentian continued his search. If everything was as he guessed, this place represented the 9 inheritances left behind by the Myriad Devil Sovereign. Each of the devil halls corresponded to a devil hall at the peak of the Devil Mountain. In that case, there should still be 2 more devil halls that have yet to be found. Which 2 devil halls would they be? Very swiftly, Qin Wentian's gaze locked onto the 2 devil halls. One of the devil halls gave off a feeling of tyrannical sharpness, unexcelled in the world, capable of destroying the heavens and earth. In front of this devil hall, there wasn't just a single devil divine weapon. There were many of them. Each of them was incomparably sharp and exuded a terrifying devilish qi. Qin Wentian had no way to guess what inheritance power this devil hall contained exactly. There was another devil hall that gave Qin Wentian a feeling of endless destruction. The devil divine weapon in front of this devil hall was an ancient halberd that could destroy all existences. It was tyrannical to the extreme, standing tall in the air. It was like the constellations Qin Wentian saw when his will connected to the 9 heavenly layers, exuding an incomparably fearsome might. What do I have to do to enter these devil halls? If I can enter all 9 of them, would I be able to gather the inheritance of all 9 halls? Qin Wentian brazenly mused. However, right now, there were already 7 devil halls at the peak of the Devil Mountain. Even if he obtained the inheritance of the Darkness Devil Hall or Sky Devil Hall, they might not be able to tolerate him. After all, the devil halls on the mountain already had an owner. But at the very least, Qin Wentian would be able to obtain the power of those devil halls. Since I've already come here, I have to continue trying. A ruthless light flashed in Qin Wentian's eyes. He had to be more ruthless to himself. If not, his trip to the Devil Mountain would have been a waste. If he couldn't enter the 9 strongest devil halls, it would be a failure to him. Even if this place was the sacred ground of the Devil Mountain and had countless books and records, other than the 9 supreme devil halls, nothing else would be able to satisfy him. His silhouette flickered, and he walked to the gigantic Sky Devil blade that symbolized the Sky Devil Palace. He directly cut his finger, and drops of blood dripped onto the Sky Devil blade. In that instant, boundless Sky Devil light of calamity appeared on the Sky Devil blade, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. In just an instant, the wind and clouds in the sky howled, and the color of the sky changed. This city of the sacred ground suddenly turned into a destructive darkness, as if a Sky Devil god had descended into the world. Qin Wentian felt fear in his heart. He inclined his head and stared at the destructive devil storm in the sky as his heart pounded violently. After that, a terrifying will of the heavenly devil rushed into his sea of consciousness. With a poochie sound, Qin Wentian directly coughed out a mouthful of blood as his body was flung through the air. His countenance was as pale as paper. How terrifying! A thought appeared in Qin Wentian's mind. After that, numerous terrifying wills bore down on him. At the same time, scenes of doomsday enveloped him. At this moment, Qin Wentian felt as though he was in the midst of doomsday. A Sky Devil saber, through the connection of that drop of blood, wanted to enter his sea of consciousness. Slash! Qin Wentian was extremely decisive. He instantly severed that connection. After that, he coughed out another mouthful of blood as his body fell to the ground, half kneeling. Only then did the world-destroying might gradually dissipate.